jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Yeah, once again, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. All three words. Salute to the WCS supporters as always, man. Thank you for tuning in each and every time. Appreciate you for stopping through during the holiday season. Hopefully everything is well on your end. Everybody's healthy. Family's good. All that. Man, some damn hot topics today. You know, it's going to be some mixed martial arts to kick this off. Then we're going to dive into the Ryan Garcia return. You know what I'm saying? And we have to touch on Ryan Garcia because of what he's been, allowing to play out in the boxing community. You know what I'm saying? The way he's been acting has been out of pocket. So therefore, we have to hold Ryan Garcia accountable and who his potential opponent may be when he returned too. That's very, very important. But check this out, though. Let me bring up Let me give you a little history on this, though, because it's very important for y'all to understand how historic this was and how he's still able to be in the position he is to this day. So off to the left is Conor McGregor and the MMA practitioner, the current lightweight world champion is Charles Oliveria from Brazil. So let me just give y'all a little helpful, little tidbit on what's about to go down, possibly, in mixed martial arts, the UFC promotion with Conor McGregor. So as I told you before, man, when Conor McGregor was coming up through the ranks, he actually came over to the UFC with 2 losses already. But his mentality was he wanted to be this star that was different. You know what I'm saying? Astrological when it comes to notoriety in the fan base of combat. He wanted to be different. He had his own freaking braggadocious way. He had his own persona. He had his own way of going about promoting his fight. And plus, he's from Ireland. So when he came over here and started the fight, it wasn't anything too special about him. It's just the way he promoted the fight. And, he talked so much. And then when he go in there, he act like he wasn't afraid of anything. So going in there with Dennis Silva, who was a name that people respected, but not someone that was crazily a dangerous opponent. He was tough enough to be in there to compete. So Conor went in there and defeated Dennis Silva, right? And like I said before, wasn't too many people talking about that fight, but it was the rise. It was beginning of the rise of who Conor McGregor became. And once again, what piqued the interest of Dana White is the fact that Conor McGregor wanted to just fight anybody when he initially came into the sport, to UFC. And this is a guy who already, like I said, possessed two losses. Two losses, submissions, y'all. So when he went in there and fought Dennis Silver, not often did you have people like all his other UFC fights, right? He was in there with some pretty decent names, but they too was on the rise in the UFC. They too was on the rise. Names like Marcus Brimbrich, Max Holloway. You know what I'm saying? You probably know Max Holloway within being the former featherweight world champion. And then Diego Brandao and Dustin Poirier. This is the first time, when they met, when both of their, pedigrees were still in the development phase. They were still growing in the sport. But when he got to Dennis Silver, though, Dennis Silver at the time was like 22-9, but he was still respected in the mixed martial arts theater. People still respected him for his skills. Conor went in there and shut him down in round 2. So next, they're talking about a title shot. So let's go to when he initially came over to the UFC. 2013, right? He came into the UFC. His first fight was against Marcus Brimbrich, 2013, and then his somewhat of a title eliminator was in 2015. That quick. So from the time he entered the UFC, he only had a total of 5 fights. About 5 good fights. Now you transfer that over to boxing, it's just not happening. It ain't happening. So he gets Chad Mendes, right? A short, stocky fighter, wrestler. And back then, Conor McGregor wasn't known for his wrestling. He was known for his punches, because you look at most of his fights leading up to that, he won a decision and he won via punches or ground and pound. He wasn't really known for his wrestling or his BJJ game. So when he stepped in there with Chad Mendes, Chad was one of these up and coming fighters, once again, that was pretty much, had the muscle. He looked the part. He had the power. Chad Mendes matched up real nice to Conor McGregor. You know why? Because they both only had 2 losses heading into this title eliminator. Both of them was 17-2. This right here, this fight with Chad Mendes, pretty much opened the envelope for some legendary shit that Conor McGregor was able to pull off. It was absolutely beautifully transformed. He goes in there and he stops Chad Mendes. And, speaking of punchlines and promo, Conor McGregor said, Mini Mendes. And people ran with that shit, dog. Promo, Mini Mendes. He called that man Mini Mendes because he had short arms and everything. And he said, I'm going to knock you out. He went in there and stopped him in the second round, y'all. Next, Conor McGregor goes in there against what many of us consider a legend. You know what I'm saying? Many of us consider a legend. This is after him facing Chad Mendes for a vacant title. That's when the UFC was kind of dibbing and dabbing in interim titles. He won the interim title, July 2015, when the UFC was just like dabbing around. They don't hand out interim titles that much across the board, but his fight with Chad Mendes was for the interim featherweight title. Notice I said featherweight. Now, anybody who knew Conor back then, he used to look terrible cutting weight. He used to look terrible, man. Like a dried up French fry. You know what I'm saying? He looked bad, but he made the weight. He's always, pretty much professional. So he goes in here against a legend, Jose Aldo. This what became extremely crazy. Jose Aldo, at the time of facing Conor McGregor, was 25-1, y'all. This guy was considered a motherfucking legend. Number 2 best MMA knockouts. Number 5 greatest knockout of all time. You know, he was just at the top of the charts for all the right reasons, representing Brazil. You had to give him his props. Jose Aldo, that's what he was back then when he stepped into the ring with Conor McGregor. His only other loss at that time was outside of the UFC. Nobody had defeated Jose Aldo, right? Nobody had defeated Jose Aldo outside of the UFC. And also, he was undefeated in the WEC, World Extreme Championships. So when the WEC was pretty much bled out by the UFC, this basically allowed them to transfer champions over from the WEC to the UFC. Some of them had to, fight for the championship, and this was one of them per se. Conor McGregor steps in with Jose Aldo, man, in 2015, December 2015. And this is a 5-round, 5 minutes per. This right here lit the fuse for Conor McGregor's wealth in combat sports. The bell rings. Both fighters throw their punch. Both fighters throw power shots. Because just like Khabib Nurmagomedov, Conor McGregor had pretty much stalked, antagonized Jose Aldo, talked bad about him. I mean, Jose Aldo was never used to anybody like Conor McGregor talking this much shit about him. I still think Khabib was worse, but the shit that he talked to Jose Aldo was very, very personal. Very personal. He took his belt doing the presser. Man, he did anything and everything to poke Jose Aldo and get him stressed the fuck out and get him in his feelings and piss him off. So when the bell rung, man, Conor McGregor punch landed and right on the kisser. And Jose Aldo, hits the canvas, and Conor McGregor wins a 13-second knockout over an individual that was undefeated, Jose Aldo, in the UFC, and a champion in the WEC before he transitioned over. The world went nuts, bro. The world went nuts over this. The world went nuts, man. Y'all hold on for a second. So when he knocked him out in 13 seconds, man, that pretty much put Conor McGregor on the map, man. You want to talk about the guy who came out of nowhere that had losses on his record, came out of nowhere and and was able to get a championship fight? That was Conor McGregor. This is almost like he beat, at this point, he beat the Ali of mixed martial arts. You know what I'm saying? When Ali was still in his prime, because Jose Aldo hosted one loss, and that was outside the UFC, and it wasn't even in the WEC now. And for 13 seconds, he looked invincible. Like he looked like he was going to be that guy. So after that, Dana started saying, you know what? Let's start building some fights with this guy. He wanted to be the first. This talk of being champion in 2 divisions started to come about. So Nate Diaz's name who had already been in UFC, and pretty much Conor kind of, I'm not gonna, he kind of basically took bits and pieces from the Diaz brothers. Like the Diaz brothers was already over there doing this shit before Conor. It's just Conor was more outspoken and people understood. Like his one-liners, his punchlines was much more of a catchy phrase than the Diaz brothers. You know, the Diaz brothers been talking their shit forever and a day, but they didn't do great promo like Conor. So Nate Diaz start coming in and saying, talking about, you know, Conor, you taking everything I work for and everything. So Dana White, you know, people start biting on it. He said, cool, let me make this fight with Nate Diaz. But Nate Diaz, there's no way he can make 145, right? There's no way Nate Diaz can make 155. Conor McGregor went all the way up to 170, dog. $170. Let me tell you the crazy part about this, though. So Nate Diaz, prior to stepping in the cage with Conor McGregor, he had fought in 2015, so he was still pretty decent. You know, the Diaz brothers, as of recent, they've been out the ring for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? But Nate Diaz had came off a loss to Benson Henderson in 2012, a loss to Josh Thompson, head kick. Then Gray Maynard, he picked up a win and then lost again to Rafael dos Anjos. And this is a beautiful part about mixed martial arts. They give you the window. They give you the opportunity. So he ended up getting a win against Michael Johnson, which is a tough fight. You know, good stand-up battle right there. He won a unanimous decision. And then he had to fight with Conor McGregor. Now, the one topic that was going around, you know, with the sidebars and everything was Nate Diaz has been known since he was a teenager. You know, they've been trained in BJJ under Cesar Gracie. So him and his brother has been at this game for the longest of time. Like they fought in the US, they fought overseas. They're well skilled combat practitioners. They're well respected in the sport. The one big deal that was the talk was how can Conor McGregor handle the ground game of Diaz? That's one plus that Diaz had. In addition to that, he had damn good hands. Nate Diaz can fucking box. You know, his power wasn't like Conor McGregor, but he would slap the shit out your ass. Like you fuck around and stay in the pocket too long with Nate Diaz or his brother Nick. They will punish you, dog. So with Conor McGregor heading into this fight, people was like, okay, can Nate Diaz stand up to the power of Conor McGregor because he knocked Jose Aldo out in 13 seconds? Or will the fight get into the later rounds and then we see them actually lock up and see how Conor is able to handle the ground game of Nate Diaz? Because that was a big question mark. If Nate Diaz was to change levels and take Conor McGregor down, could he handle it? So the bell rang, of course, and these two began an all-out firefight. It was incoming. It was mortar rounds. They was blasting each other, y'all. I mean, one of the best fights you're gonna see for why it lasted, right? In the first round, it was just all-out warfare with these two. And it got down to a point where you had to factor in something else with Conor McGregor. Leading up to this fight with Nate Diaz, people was questioning his cardio because he hasn't really been in the long fights like that. He's been in there getting the job done. With Nate Diaz, he really had no problem with staying in the fray, staying in the fighting hole and battling it out. He's been there before. When they finished the first round, I mean, I'm talking about lighting each other up. One of the best first rounds you will see. Conor Conor McGregor looked gassed. You feel me? Like he looked very gassed, and potentially he was in trouble. But I amongst other people didn't want to really spoil the mood on where this was going to end up. So when they ended the second round, they start still stand up striking. I can't say it's boxing because mixed martial arts it's a little bit different in that you're able to throw your kicks and everything. You can visibly see that Conor McGregor was fatiguing and Nate Diaz wasn't going anywhere, and he was able to hurt Conor. When he hurt Conor, Nate Diaz, man, he points in your face. He tried to get you riled up. He lets you know, I got you. I'm about to fuck you up. I got you. And he began to break Conor McGregor down. So instead of Conor, it's one thing that I know right now about Conor McGregor. He never want to get knocked out. That's one thing about Conor. He will tap his ass off like Sammy Davis Jr., but he does not want to get knocked out for some reason. That is something that is in his heart, his soul. He will tap out first. So when he was on his way to being stopped, Nate Diaz was hitting him, lighting his ass up with some very effective surgical strikes. He changed levels and went in for the takedown. Now, at this point in time, I'm saying to myself, oh my God, he's fucked up. He's done. He's done. It's a wrap. There's no way that Conor's going to have what it takes. His skill level isn't there yet to roll with Nate Diaz on the canvas. He went in for a desperate takedown because he was exhausted. Nate Diaz quickly transitioned. Instead of Conor McGregor getting fully mounted on his back, he turned over and gave up his back, and he pretty much went belly down a little bit, right? So automatically, Nate doing what Nate does and his experience level, he was able to transition to back control, put in the hooks, and before he sunk in the choke, he kind of landed some punches to soften it up and to really get what he wanted, the neck. Conor McGregor was a fish out of water at that point. Nate Diaz hit him with a left, to run his hand through, put him in the rear naked choke, and Conor McGregor tap. So then it brings us to the post-fight where Nate Diaz comes in there and say, Joe Rogan said, you shook up the world. And he said, I'm not surprised, motherfucker. That shit right there is a classic one-liner for Nate Diaz. He said, I'm not surprised, motherfucker. So what Dana White do? What Dana White does? He put him back in a rematch. That's why I fuck with MMA. Like, he put these cats back in a rematch, man. Could you imagine in boxing if they gave us the Lennox Lewis Hasim Rothman more often? If they gave us the rematches after a fighter is knocked out or tapped? So these fighters get a rematch and they go the distance. It was okay. It didn't live up. It lived up partially to the damn intensity of the first fight, but it was still a back and forth where Conor McGregor was a bit more smart at his offensive strategy this time. He didn't try to go in there for the knockout so hastily. He took his time, picked his shots, and he even earned about I think 2 knockdowns during that fight. So this is at 170 welterweight. So he ended up winning the fight, but it wasn't for a title. Okay? It wasn't for a title. So currently, Conor McGregor is a featherweight champion. Right after him losing, tapped out, subbed. Dana White puts him in there. He wins the decision against Nate Diaz. Conor McGregor then goes back down from 170, legendary shit, to 155 and fight the Underground King Eddie Alvarez, who's been championing every motherfucking organization he ever put gloves and competed in. Eddie Alvarez is currently the lightweight world champion, 155. Dana White allows Conor McGregor, who's saying, "Hey, I want to be the first champion in 2 divisions." He comes back down and fight him. Hold on for a split second, y'all. Hold on for a minute. Hold on, right quick. It won't be long. Hold on. All right, we back. Hold on. All right, we back. So let me get back to this legendary shit that needs to bleed over to other sports too, if you're capable. So Conor McGregor goes in here, steps in the ring with Eddie Alvarez, who himself has this legendary stamp put on him for going to war and being in some of these memorable battles in mixed martial arts. He also has been known to get dropped a lot, but tough enough to come back. And he was well versed in wrestling, and his stand up was pretty good. Conor McGregor goes in there and stops him in 2 rounds with punches. 2 fucking rounds. So he becomes the first ever 2 division champ simultaneously. This set up an amazing rise to him to somehow, some way, piggyback off the trash talking of Ronda Rousey when she was up there winning the ESPY award and saying that she can, on the night show, she was saying that she can defeat Floyd Mayweather with one hand behind her back. And you want to talk about the fight fans today being goofy? Now they was extremely goofy off Ronda Rousey. Now they was silly. There was fans out there actually pushing for Ronda Rousey to face Floyd Mayweather in a fight. Ronda Rousey's biggest weight was 135. 145. She obviously didn't have enough education in the sport of boxing on Floyd Mayweather's career before she started talking. So what did Conor McGregor do? Conor McGregor piggybacked off the momentum that Ronda Rousey was getting from trash talking Floyd, and he began to do it because actually he would be a male fighter, and he would be the perfect opponent right now, being that Floyd Mayweather wasn't in the ring like that. Floyd Mayweather was 49-0 at the time before Conor McGregor stepped in there with him. The good thing about it was that people was eating this shit up. They was like, oh shit, Conor McGregor is on Floyd right now. He's on Floyd. Oh shit, this is a world champion. This is a 2 division world champion in mixed martial arts. And then you start hearing about the cross-threading of combat sports. You hear people putting shit together because it was the perfect storm, y'all. It was the perfect way, promo wise, that you had two individuals. Floyd, who was the highest earner. Conor McGregor wasn't the highest earner in anything just yet, but his promo, people was coming out to see him for his promo and his performances. The two P's, promo, performance. His promotion added up well to his performances. Then you add in another P, he ended up getting paid because of it. So you had promo, performance, and pay. So when it came to Floyd Mayweather and the steam picked up in the media, and I'm hearing that, they're talking behind the scenes, they're building up this fight, building it up, and finally it became reality. They put the shit on the flyer. They did a press tour unlike anything you ever seen. Why? Because like I said before and say many times, Floyd Mayweather allowed Conor McGregor, white fighter from Ireland. A lot of people say when you talking about white to black, it's gonna sell the most. And being that Floyd Mayweather has such this he had amassed this huge fan base. Some was for Floyd, and a lot of them was to see him lose because he had made such a priority to let people know that I'm undefeated. And then, he was going after a fighter who wasn't even in the division that he had fought in. You know what I'm saying? He was going after the record of a fighter who wasn't even in the same division of his highest division. You know what I'm saying? People say, well, why are you going after Rocky? A lot of motherfuckers didn't even know Rocky. But for Conor McGregor to get the placement, to grace the square with the highest paid earner, Floyd Mayweather, was an unbelievable feat. Unbelievable, dog. He was going in there to fight Floyd Mayweather for his 50th professional bout. So once the flyers came out, they did the press tour. Floyd allowed Conor McGregor to pop him on the head, with his bare hand, his right hand. Just allowed him to talk shit about his family. He just really allowed Conor McGregor to get away with shit that no one else would have got away with if they were stepping in the ring with him. It's just the disrespect that was there from Conor McGregor, just absolutely disrespectful. But Floyd Mayweather, being the monetary genius he is, he didn't care because it was so many people tuned in to see this fight. They actually believed that Conor McGregor was that guy. They thought he was going to be the one to hand Floyd his one. The fight would earn Conor McGregor the most he would have made in mixed martial arts. And it made UFC millions. Moving forward, Floyd stopped him. Floyd carried Conor McGregor enough and he stopped him, right? At that point in time, Conor McGregor acted like he wasn't even trying to come back to the cage at all. He had got paid. This dude got stupid paid. He had made multiple millions. He said, God damn it, why should I run back to the UFC, dog? So that, he ended up getting his second title strip. And at that time where he was out, making millions, multiple millions with Floyd Mayweather, the UFC was going through their own changes. They was like, we can't hold the title in limbo any longer. We're going to have to strip you of the title. So pretty much, Conor didn't defend his titles. He didn't defend his titles. He never defended his featherweight title. He never defended his lightweight title. But in theater, for the way he was able to earn the titles, etched his name in mixed martial arts history. Hall of Fame shit, legendary shit. So when he finally decided, they got him back. They was like, damn, people was wondering when he's going to come back. There's a new ruler at the lightweight division, a ruler that never defeated Conor McGregor for the titles. Never. At this point in time now, you have to remember, Conor McGregor had not lost except once to Nate Diaz. That was it. That wasn't even for his title. That wasn't even for nothing. That was just bragging rights. He lost via submission. So he only had 3 losses at the time. He only lost to Nate Diaz. None of them were for titles. So when he returned back to the sport, man, remember I told you about the promo lead up to Floyd Mayweather. Now he goes in there and, the promo lead up to Jose Aldo, then the Mayweather, and then Khabib the Nurmagomedov. He talked about Muslims. He talked about Islam. At that point in time, Conor McGregor coming, being able to make history over there with Floyd Mayweather in one of the biggest boxing matches, PPV events you will ever see in fucking sports. He ended up picking up a sponsorship for Proper 12. So in this promo with Khabib the Nurmagomedov, who within his religion, drinking isn't one of the benefits. It's against his religion. Conor McGregor was pouring a shot and talking about, here, Khabib, take a shot. He was talking about Khabib's wife. Man, he was being stupid disrespectful. He was disrespecting the Muslims. He was disrespecting his father. It was super personal, bro. Crazy personal. I don't even think I ever seen a fight build up that was that personal in mixed martial arts. Like just to go after a killer. Khabib is a killer, dog. To go after a killer's family, who he had on his team and everything, the way that Conor McGregor did is also legendary. It was at the expense of Khabib, but it happened. It happened. The fight damn near built up as much hype as Floyd Mayweather. Being that Floyd Mayweather is extremely, like, we're talking about a whole nother level superstar than Khabib. Khabib fought for the lightweight title against Alaquenta for a vacant title. Now, of course, his accolades don't even come close to scratching the surface with Floyd. But the fact that Khabib was undefeated, Conor McGregor had been out of the sport for a while. He had made multiple millions. People was trying to question if he still had it and if he was still motivated to come over here and potentially, pick up the belt again. It was a whole nother shift in regime by that time. Khabib was the reigning champion. So when they started to build this shit up, the wild part about it is the shit that went down in NYC. When there was a conversation where Khabib, and shout out to Adam Loboff, man. I had the chance to interview him down in Florida for the bare knuckle fight. Very tough dude, man. I wouldn't mind, I would have him if it was somebody I would have, on my 6 and come back in the fighting hole. It'd be Artem. Artem Loboff has been a friend of Conor McGregor forever and a day. So at this point, Khabib's team pretty much catches Loboff walking up the hall. When I say catch, it's almost like you see the presence is there, and you're walking and something about to go down. You just don't know to what extent. Is it going to be words exchange or is it going to be physical exchanges? So Khabib ended up having a conversation with Artem Loboff, which probably they was pretty much telling him, you let Conor know that we're gonna smash him. I'm gonna smash him. This, that, and the other. And it would be the same. It would be the same if you tried to bully someone temporarily. You know what I'm saying? Like you caught them by themselves and you with all your boys and you try to bully them. So of course, after it was all over, it was nothing physical, anything. Artem went back and told Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor came in there gooned up. He came in there gooned up. Conor McGregor, I don't know if he was high off Waka Flocka, but he was going hard in the paint, goddammit. Conor came in there with a bulk shitload of dudes, grabbed the damn steel dolly, and threw that shit through the damn bus window. The glass actually broke from the outside in. It injured Michael Chiesa, and it injured Ray Borg. It cut them up. They was out. And they had civil lawsuits against Conor McGregor for that. Also on there was the Rose Namajunas. She had a fight coming up defending her title. And she was in a different mindset too. Like, damn, this incident is very impactful. So Conor McGregor, Khabib was on the bus. This was a UFC team bus. Khabib is on that bus. That is the primary reason why Conor threw the dolly. He came in there and he wanted revenge for just words or whatever Khabib told Artem Lobov to run back and tell Conor. It worked. So what Dana White did leading up to this fight, he promoted this shit, dog. He threw it in the promo. Dana White used that shit in the promo. Because Conor McGregor had made him millions of dollars. He didn't give a fuck about Khabib. Really, he didn't at that time. He didn't give a fuck about Khabib. So they finally step into the cage, right? And this was a pretty entertaining fight because Khabib didn't waste time getting in on those hips and taking Conor down. Conor defended pretty decent. He had been working on his wrestling defense, his takedown defense. He had been working on his wrestling. He did fairly decent on the first takedown defense. But when it comes down to remediation, when it comes down to the constant attacks of Khabib, continuous attacks from Khabib. If he don't get you the first, he'll try the second. If he don't get you the second the way he wants, he'll try third. He continued to just wear on you and wear on you. Keep on drawing you in, depleting your energy, fatigue. That is his main point, to stalk you. He is the predator at that point in time. He had Conor guessing on what was going to be next. And after a while, it was just all Khabib having Conor defending the takedowns and trying to survive off his back. This guy's relentless. Khabib is relentless, dog. He's a savage on the fucking ground. And you remember what I said about Nate Diaz when Conor McGregor was tired and he shot in, and Nate Diaz was probably like, damn, thanks for the gift. And he subbed him out. Well, this time, of course, he had improved since that fight. But, heading into the fourth round, obviously he was tired of takedown defense because Khabib was relentless. He was talking shit to Conor. He was just telling him to give up. He was just letting it be known that this ain't going to change. So with Conor cardio and a topic of discussion, anybody cardios will break down after the relentless pressure of Khabib. In the fourth round, he finally, placed Conor in a position where he took his back, and Conor was pretty much in a sitting position. So many people thought it was more so like a rear naked choke, which it wasn't. It was quite different because Khabib didn't have any hooks in, but it's the way that he choked Conor McGregor. It's more like a face crank. I believe it was like a fulcrum choke, face crank. And so much to the point where you're talking about a Sambo world champion subbing out Conor McGregor with that amount of um, pressure, that squeeze pressure that Khabib had. And Conor McGregor tapped again. You know what I'm saying? He tapped again. Conor McGregor tapped again, dog, in the 4th round. So at this point in time, he take a little bit of time off, right? He had all the millions from Floyd. He's probably drinking whiskey after the Mega Medoff fight. He taps in the 4th round and all hell break loose. All hell break loose, y'all. One of the better matches ever in mixed martial arts. It was so disrespectful. It was so personal to the point where, Khabib Nurmagomedov is built different. So when he finished subbing him out, he took out his mouthpiece and threw it into the gate because Dillian Danis, a cheerleader for Conor McGregor, he's a fighter, but nothing special. He threw his mouthpiece over in the direction of Dillian Danis, and it was some back and forth, and all you see is liftoff. We have liftoff. Khabib pretty much scaled the fence, jumped up like the eagle, just like his alias, and went into the crowd. He didn't give a fuck. So after breaking up that fight, fines were handed out, and we move on. You know what I'm saying? They was fined. So we move on to Conor McGregor taking some time off, and people's like, "Oh, he's not really in it no more. He had multiple millions, this, that, and the other." He comes back and fight Cowboy Donald Cerrone. Cowboy Cerrone is already sitting in double-digit losses when he stepped in there with Conor. He stepped out of the ring in October 2018, right? Of Khabib. He stepped in the cage, rather. October 2018 with Khabib. Or somebody texted me right quick. Okay. He stepped in there October 2018 with Khabib, and he took damn near 2 years and damn near. You know what I'm saying? The man took over a year. I give him that. It seemed like 2 years. He comes back and fight Donald Cowboy Cerrone, who's sitting at like double-digit losses, 13 at that point in time, and he finished him in 40 seconds. People are jumping up and down because Conor McGregor landed some shoulder strikes. You know what I'm saying? He landed a high kick on Cerrone and made him, stumble. It seemed like he was hurt, but in the post-fight, Cowboy said he wasn't even in the fight. He just came back, to step in there for a check, and that's what it was. But that was from October 2018. He stepped back in there in January 2020. People thinking this shit is just amazing. I'm like, what? He didn't do shit except, Cowboy didn't want to be in there, obviously. So now, Conor McGregor is trying to basically get himself back in title contention in the lightweight division. He can't make 145 anymore. So he wants to, stay at 155 for a potential matchup with Khabib. And Khabib would have definitely entertained it, in my opinion, if he would have won his next fight. So when UFC 257 takes place, it's Poirier, who he had fought early in Poirier's career, and he beat him. Poirier was still green. He just didn't have it back then, man. Well, maybe he just didn't have it, period, against a guy like Conor. But UFC 257, he steps in there for Poirier McGregor 2. Now, this is a big fight. Seriously, this is a big fight because This could have potentially could be, I mean, the Mega Medoff versus McGregor too. At this point in time, Khabib was like telling everyone, like, what's so special about me giving him a rematch? I don't give a fuck, what you talk about. He don't deserve a rematch. He talked all that shit and he was subbed out. He talked all that shit and disrespected my family, disrespected my father, all that. And you want me to give him a rematch? So he steps in there, January 2021. He took damn near a year off. He beat Cowboy Cerrone now in January 2020. Then we had that pandemic. And then he steps back in there earlier this year, January 2021. And he loses to Dustin Poirier via punches. Now, this is what people are not used to seeing with Conor. Like, you lost to Dustin Poirier via punches. Conor McGregor is the only person I know that loses. And people still think he still has something left. So he lost, but still people look at him like, oh, he's rich though. You remember that money he made with Floyd? He's rich. So he loses. Second round. What Dana White do 6 months later? He set him up for another fight to redeem himself. It's a rubber match, 1-1. 1-1. Conor beat Dustin in their first fight. Dustin came back and defeated Conor in a second fight. Now it's a trilogy. Goes in there and Conor has this fucked up ankle or whatever. Anyway, he was getting his ass beat. And he's out in round 1. He's done. No Khabib fight. No nothing. Done, sir, done. Now, what I just told, out of his last 5 combat sports fight, to include Floyd Mayweather, he lost to Floyd, he lost to Khabib, he had 1 win with Cowboy Cerrone, and he lost twice to Dustin Poirier. So you're saying to yourself, damn, that entire story, appreciate the damn backstory and everything, appreciate the epoch in history, the time in history. What does that have to do with the thumbnail with Charles Oliveira? This is what it has to do with it, right? All during this time, while other people grinding it out, the Justin Gaethjes, the Michael Chandlers coming over here. You know what I'm saying? The Dustin Poiriers trying to build up themselves to get a title shot with Khabib and all that. Situation happened where Khabib subs out Dustin Poirier. All right? Subs him out in 3. He subs out Justin Gaethje. He retires. Then, Dana White has to pick, a championship fight to happen. So in between time, Charles Oliveira becomes the lightweight world champion. Fair and square. Khabib is retired now. So you're saying to yourself, like, well, when it comes down to this, these fighters who has been winning, they should be the one next up because they've been winning. And these fighters are doing anything and everything. They just don't have the mystique as Conor McGregor. But Conor McGregor been losing. But what he was able to do for the company, Dana White still holds him above everybody else. So now that Charles Oliveira goes in here and defeat Dustin Poirier, right? The next one in line should be a Justin Gaethje. It should be a Justin Gaethje. Real talk. He's paid his dues. It should be a Justin Gaethje, dog. But from what I'm hearing and for what they're talking about, Conor McGregor may be the one that's stepping in there for Charles Oliveira defense. Conor McGregor, who has 2 freaking losses to Dustin Poirier. Dana White is potentially speaking about putting him back in there with Charles Oliveira. This is where you could say politics plays a role. And mixed martial arts is business too. It's always business. Because what Charles Oliveira said is that he really don't care who he fight. But he would definitely appreciate the opportunity to redeem the Brazilian flag his country. What he's talking about is the Jose Aldo fight when he knocked out Jose in 13 seconds. He's saying, I would definitely like to redeem that moment and also potentially fight him in Brazil. So he would welcome the opportunity for Conor McGregor to come over to Brazil and have a championship fight. Because he's on a roll right now. He's on a 10-fight winning streak right now, Charles Oliveira. But the fact that Conor McGregor, who looked terrible in those 2 fights with Dustin Poirier, and now that Dustin has received his opportunity, his golden moment, I don't know what the fuck to say. I couldn't believe that Dustin went in there and lost to Charles Oliveira via submission. Like, I don't get it. But instead of picking the next man in charge, they pretty much considering Conor McGregor to get another shot at the title. It's unfucking believable. I see why. I'm not angry about it, but I see what Dana White is doing, because Dana said, Conor McGregor proved to him that he was willing to step in when nobody else will. Like, he was a company guy without being a company guy back then. When Dana White saying, hey, I'm gonna put you in there with here, he said, okay, cool. So-and-so drop. Okay, don't say another word. I got it. I'll step in. And then when he made those millions, when he first picked up that title, and then he gave him Nate Diaz, and then he fought Eddie Alvarez yourself, like over and over again, time and time, you prove yourself. So guess what? When he presented him the Floyd fight, when Conor say, I'm gonna fuck Floyd up, I want to go over there and get that million. Then Floyd and Dana White was talking behind the scenes. They was talking about how they gonna, do this and that, make millions, because they knew each other, early in their time. Dana knew Floyd Mayweather. Floyd knew Dana. All 3 of these individuals, Floyd, Leonard, Conor, Dana, and whoever else was involved, they made crazy money. So at this point in time, to give this man another shot at the title is a no-brainer for Dana, because he's saying, I don't give a fuck if he lost twice. Like, Justin Gaethje is not one of those star pupils, so to speak. Like, he goes in there and get it in, but he doesn't have that star power that Conor McGregor brings each and every time. Like, Conor can lose and people still say, well, he got proper 12. He the one that stepped in with Floyd Mayweather. and look, what he's been able to do is difficult for boxers to do. Like, it's very difficult for boxers to get to that point of a Floyd Mayweather. We see it all the time of a Conor McGregor. I don't care what you say. Conor McGregor was 0-0 stepping in there with Floyd. But his millions, he might as well been 49-0 because he got paid like it. And I'm curious to see what's going to become of this if he is the one that's going to step in there with Charles Oliveira. You know what I'm saying? Let me get to some of these comments in here. Charles Oliveira, man, I'm definitely happy for Charles. He's had a tough road. He had to prove himself. He's another guy that don't say much, but he is lethal. He is absolutely lethal in this motherfucking combat game with his arsenal. He's improved tremendously, dog. Ghost on deck, what's good? Salute to you. What are you talking about? You don't get the wrench here. Dude, I just started seeing you over on the channel a couple of weeks ago, dog. What are you talking about, dog? Just ask, man. What are you talking about, bro? It's not that serious with me, man. But since you mention it, bro. I say to myself sometime too, Ghost. I say, dang, how long I've been on this channel? I still don't have a wrench. But who am I to sit up here and plead for a wrench? There you go, man. You good. You good. The wrench is in your possession right now. J Ocho on deck. What's good with it? X, what's good? Greetings, brothers and sisters. What's good? That Gregory, appreciate you pulling up. King Mitch on deck. What's good with you? So let's get to the more important topic of boxing, right? Your boy Ryan Lion Garcia. Ryan Lion Garcia, was pretty much castigated by Canelo Alvarez and say he just don't have the fucking drive, nigga. On top of that, you up here misrepresenting the Mexican freaking fan base when it comes to boxing. You having them think we soft out here. I'm not saying Canelo don't have his flaws. I'm just saying for what Ryan Garcia, the level he hasn't been able to attain just yet. So he's coming out now. And Ryan Garcia should always be remembered, you know what I'm saying, for what he did before his departure. Because I thought it was very important to note that people should clearly understand that Ryan Garcia is the biggest capper in boxing. The biggest capper in boxing, for real. That should never leave your thought process. You should always remember him for this right here.
Tank, I'm going to say it in front of Mike and Jeremy. If you do not take this fight, your legacy is forever tainted. Nobody will ever remember your name. Nobody. The money's there. I know you love money, but money's there. If you don't take the fight next, your whole legacy forever is tainted if you don't take the next fight with me. Oh, my
God. God damn, Tank. I ain't never heard no shit like this.
Ooh, he's capping, capping, he's capping, capping, ooh, capping, ooh, he's capping, ooh, he's capping, ooh, capping, ooh, he's capping.
I have a potential huge, bigger fight than him, so I might pin him off for the side. I'm still gonna fight him, but I wouldn't not fight him unless it was even a bigger opportunity. But I cannot say anything right now, so I'm just gonna keep it at that.
Ooh, he's capping, he's capping.
So y'all get the point. I had to just drop that track back then because Ryan Lion Garcia is a capper. And what was more disappointing is that Mike Tyson, he pretty much had the man on his show, and he wanted to vouch for him. Like, him and Tank was going at it on the show, and he really had people fooled that he wanted that Gervonta work. He really had them fooled that he wanted that Gervonta Davis work. He said, if you don't take this fight, your career will be forever tainted. When you say that about somebody, you got to stand on your shit. You got to make sure you keep your shit tight. You honor your own words. If you ain't honoring your own words, who is? Then he turned to say, he tried to play like he had a fight with Manny Pacquiao. We talking about a 135-pounder. Having a catchweight fight with Manny Pacquiao, what does it prove, though? Bullshit. That's what it proved. So now we get to a point where we've heard Canelo come out and say, his drive in it isn't there and all this shit. So I'm saying to myself, he sees Gervonta Davis go through the storm and he say, Gervonta should fight him. And now he's redirected that shit because he can't get the Gervonta Davis fight. You know what I'm saying? He needs somebody else. So he wanna go for Isaac Cruz. The pluses I see with him going with Isaac Cruz is, first of all, height. All right, reach. But with a fighter like Isaac Cruz, man, he's gonna keep on pushing forward, and he really don't give a damn about how tall you are. He's gonna punish your body regardless. That's one fighter that I see in this new era that is infatuated with body work. You know what I'm saying? He has that fundamental down. Like, you might be taller than me, but I'm gonna break your ass down. I'm gonna fold you over like a wet envelope. I'm gonna chop that. I'm gonna chop your midsection up real nice. Ryan Garcia is trying to convince us that he won't Isaac Cruz smoke. He wants Isaac Cruz. But I'm saying to myself, no, fuck that, shawty. I already know who you should get. You know what I'm saying? I already know who he should get. Real talk. It shouldn't be no damn Isaac Cruz. He should get a softie. He should get a soft serve, as my boy Michael say. He should get a soft serve on his return. He should fight Katie Taylor. Him and Katie Taylor is damn near the same in resume. She's 20-0. Ryan Garcia is 21-0. They have a difference in knockouts, of course. Ryan Garcia is 18 knockouts, and Katie Taylor has a whopping 6. But where they match up real nice, they fight in the same weight class, y'all. Ryan Garcia is younger, Katie's much older, and they putting her as a top pound for pound. I think this would be a good fight for Ryan Garcia. Katie Taylor. Katie, if you out there, try to get that fight with Ryan Garcia. He needs somebody to boost up, his confidence again. He needs to represent the Mexican fighters properly. He need a fight like you on his return. For real. They have almost similar resumes. And why not? You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia, I mean, he can come out there with eyeliner on, the makeup like he's just leaving the movie set. It'll be picture perfect, dog. Let Katie Taylor be the A side because she's been more active and she has the more accolades. So Katie Taylor be the A side going in this fight. And if you can get past Katie Taylor, then we might consider you to fight Isaac Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Gervonta Davis or something like that. But you have to show us that you have the heart there, Ryan Garcia. You ain't showed us the fucking heart. When it came time for you to face Devin Haney, you was out. You was retreating. Ryan was like, pop the hatch, next tandem, lock up, check the C-clamps. You're next up on 3, 2, 1, jump. That's what Ryan Garcia did. He jumped out the motherfucking hatch, skydiving. I'm getting the fuck out of this motherfucker right here. I think your next opponent should definitely be Katie Taylor. Real talk. So if y'all out there listening, y'all advocate for Ryan to come back and fight. Katie Taylor. They're in the same division. He can be the B side. And depending on how he look, since everything's about looks, this day and time, like Cambosis is saying, have Ryan Garcia fight somebody, that's competitive, that matches up nicer with him. Nicer. She's on the top pound for pound list. Ryan Garcia's fighting to be on the pound for pound list. You have to get back in the good graces of your stablemate, Canelo Alvarez. So him saying you don't have the drive, we'll see and pay for you to come back and fight somebody like Katie Taylor. So let's hope for that happen. Let's hope Ryan Garcia is able to get that fight with Katie Taylor. She's 35, so she'll make some pretty decent money off that. She's going to be at the back end of her career real soon. And Ryan Garcia is pretty much moving up the chain. So I think that's a damn solid fight right there for Ryan Garcia. Mike was doing just as much capping in that clip. He was, wasn't he? But ain't nobody going to hold Mike accountable for shit. For real, when people see Mike, they keep their lips zipped. For real. They keep their lips zipped, dog. Ben Israel on deck. What's good? He said, Shalom WCS. Your work been fire. Is man down today, tomorrow, forever. Hey, I know you got that copy and paste in your notes. You know what I'm saying? And right, I agree. He's going down. Just give it time. The boxing plug on deck. What's good? Breaking news. WCS no boycott for Errol Spence versus Ugas. Ugas versus Errol Spence will be on regular TV. What's your thoughts? Why should there be a boycott? Listen, look, the boxing plug. Hold on for a second. Let me bring something up right quick. I'm glad you brought that up, my brother. So this is what I'm gonna do, right? See, because some people, the boxing plug kind of, took something from my closer. See, because I've been very vocal about how people putting boots and boots and boots, right? And we should protest if you don't like this, if you don't like that, if you think Devin Haney should get this fight with Cambosa, protest, right? Protest, right? And then you hear the word about Errol Spence and Ugas. What should we think about this shit? That is not going on PPV. Why? Because Ugas ain't selling. Why can't we put this on PPV, dog? Where's the protest at, dog? I'm just saying. Let me bring up something right quick. Give me 1 second. I want to share screen right quick. Hold on for a second. I really look for me. You already done heard my take. That was something I was kind of like, listening to people talk about over and over again. I really wanted to build up, boxing plug. I really wanted to build up and so I can get some content. So like, I wanted to see who was going to talk about it and the way they was going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hilarious. I'm not lying to you. It's hilarious. You know why boxing plug? Because they always talking about, Terrence Crawford don't do this, Terrence Crawford don't do that. But then you have a situation go down like this. I just want to get somebody else's take, man. That's why I dropped the link. I really want to hear what y'all have to say about what the boxing plug just put in there. I wasn't going to talk about it just yet on this live, but I just want to hear what y'all got to say. Click the motherfucking link. You know what I'm saying? Let me hear your thoughts on what the boxing plug just put in there. Let me put this up here. Let me put that up there. Ben, what's good, bro? How you feeling? Okay, Ben dropped off. So what I was trying to do is collect intel from the YTC, because this theater has been extremely biased in trying to build up this situation with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. So therefore, when you're talking about a fight like Errol Spence and Ugas, who people have been, oh my God, they've been freaking serenading Errol Spence, with flowers to come back to the ring. They heard he was going to get the motherfucking fight with Ugas. It became even more disrespectful because no one's really giving Ugas an opportunity, a chance. You know what I'm saying? It's all about Errol Spence. My question to you all and to everybody else is just what Boxing Plug said. Why isn't there a protest if it's all about the freaking numbers? If it's all about the numbers, I laugh because we have no numbers to go off of on PPV if Errol Spence defeats Ugas and go in there with Crawford. We have no numbers. Y'all busy worrying about numbers, but we ain't gonna have no numbers to go off of if this fight isn't on PPV. What's gonna be the topic of discussion? When it comes down to it. Are you there, bro? Ben, are you there?
Yeah, you can hear me, my G.
Yeah, I can hear you. What's good with you?
Okay. Shalom to World Comeback Sport, man. Y'all hit the like, subscribe button, man. Once again, thank you for having your boy on Ben Israel. You know what I'm saying? I've been listening to that dude with that talk about that free TV thing though, man. Man, that's not happening though, man. You got one of the most. You got the world destroyer. People paying to see that. Ben Israel is ready to pay to see that. Ben
But when
Israel
I
paid.
heard it though, it was laughable. It was laughable. The free TV. It's just hilarious.
You know, he entitled to his opinion. And shout out to World Combat for allowing people to voice their opinion on his platform, though, man. Whether it be hilarious or not, he entitled to his opinion. You know what I mean? But
So
what's
you don't
good?
think it should be on free TV?
No, it shouldn't be, man. This man, you talk about one of the most, man, EJ. You talk
You
about,
think it's gonna be on free TV though?
nah, I don't think so. The people they begging for it because Ugar's situation, but EJ, they wanna, they wanna try to, everything is surrounding your boy Canfish Crawford. Forgive me, World Combat Sport, for referring to him, but they gonna have to put respect on my dog name, man.
They
They gonna
don't.
have,
Hey, on this channel, they don't have to do shit
man, they gonna have
when
to
it
put
comes to
respect. Come
aerospence,
on,
Ben.
this your channel, and I respect and shout out
No,
to
Ben,
everybody.
you ain't gonna
We
get up here and call
come
my boy
on, man.
Crawford
Y'all
names
got to
and
do
shit,
that.
dog.
Y'all can't be
You must have
disrespecting.
lost your ragged mind, dog.
Man,
What
but
you
World
doing?
Combat, check this out, my G. How you gonna throw a
Shit,
rock and expect me not to throw a boulder back at your ass, bro?
I didn't. I didn't.
Not you.
I'm talking
The
about we
whole
having a
just
dialogue, and
Bud
you up here
Justice League.
making nicknames and shit.
Bud Justice League been throwing rocks, bro. Throwing little rocks. But when we throw, I'm throwing boulders back. I ain't playing with them. I wasn't in the military, but I told you I got a twin brother was there, and they came back with some military mind shit while I was on the streets, and that shit just only corrupted me. But I thank the Most High, you feel what I'm saying, for allowing me to change though World Combat Sport, and I want to extend my olive branch to you from day one, my brother. I got off wrong with you, and went and I made a minute. I told everybody. So all them other dudes, one of your homeboys still mad at me, still blocking. If you want to know that dude name, you fuck with him heavy. And he's still mad at me about that shit. And I said, man, we had difference of opinion. I said, right now, World Combat Sport making that shit clear about what Sudamar doing with the franchise title. My thing was with you, like I stand to this day, the World Combat. Look how you were saying that shit 2 nights ago on your platform. I said, damn, this what me and you were saying that's fucked up how they treat them. You didn't say it was fucked up how they treat them, but you were saying, damn, to I forgot how you was quoting the shit, but you was getting Devin his praises, bro. And this all I was saying, my G. Damn, what that do for a fighter like Devin Haney, who asked to fight Lomachenko, who asked to fight Teofimo, ain't asking to fight Camboso, though, man. We say we love the sport, World Combat Sport, but what about them gladiators who want to get in the ring? You feel what I'm saying?
Well, I know you kind of switch gears off aerospace though.
But one thing about EJ, your boy EJ won't see. I could put EJ, Devin the Nightmare Haney, and Tank. I was born in Baltimore, bro. I'm gonna let you know this, World Combat Sport.
Okay.
You've been getting off in ATL. I know I done got raised. My mama beautiful. I got a crazy ass upbringing. One day when you got time, I'll shoot you my number. We can sit here and you'll laugh, bro. You will laugh about my upbringing. I share this with some people on their shit. But one thing EJ don't do is duck that smoke. And you got to commend this man for coming off a car accident. Telling
No, I
Danny,
don't.
telling
No, the
Danny,
hell I don't. No, the hell I don't, bro.
you do know. And one thing you do know,
I
World
don't have
Combat,
to do that. You told me I have to commend him for coming off an accident.
you,
What are you saying?
okay,
Like
okay,
that's
okay,
over. That's done
okay,
with.
okay, okay. If you don't have to commend him
He
off,
he he about to come
okay,
back
what
off an
about
eye
the eye
injury this
reckoning?
time.
What about the eye reckoning they making jokes about now?
The what?
The eye reckoning.
The
You
eye?
got a warrior ready to come back after suffering the same injury
I just wanted
that
to
the
know
great
about the free
that the
TV
great
though.
that the great Sugar Ray Leonard. Modern technology and science done enhanced to the third, fourth, fifth, third is beautifully now. And you got a warrior ready to get in there with Terrence, such and
So
such
you
Crawford.
so hold up, Ben. So you're trying to compare 1984 when Sugar Ray
You know what I'm saying? The
was out of
medicine,
the sport.
technology,
Hold on.
technology.
Look, Sugar Ray came back from being off in '84, and he came back to challenge Marvin Hagler. You trying to use that analogy in this phrase? Because Udenis Ugas
Why not?
isn't Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
No, I'm not using. I said Terrence Crawford. I'm gonna use that in that phrase. Dennis Ugas, I'm gonna go on record with you, World Cup best sport. I'm gonna treat. Well, I'm not saying me, because I want to fight George Cambosa. I'm gonna say EJ gonna treat him like he did Danny Garcia as a tune-up fight for your boy Terrence Canfish Crawford. That's who. That's that little fish that the big fish want to devour and eat. And I want Terrence Crawford to be on his best game. I want him to train harder than he ever trained before. I want him to switch, to do anything. I want him to come with his greatest toolbox, his best arsenal, his best military force. And I'm telling you, World Combat Sport, that still won't be enough that night when him and EJ get in the ring. Because EJ gonna put
So you don't think it should be on free TV?
Terrence Crawford and Spence? Of course not. That's
no,
not
I'm talking about Spence and Ugas.
Of course not. That's not. EJ is a pay-per-view star right now.
So you don't think protest is warranted?
Everybody's
on free TV?
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. World Combat Sport. We live in a free state. America is a free state. You can protest what you want to protest, but the people love EJ. They standing behind him. And I tell you, being Israel is a boxing fan first. EJ is my favorite fighter. I was born in Baltimore. I love Tank, my G. I tell you right now, if Tank and Devin fight, if Tank get on the inside, he will put Devin as the sleep. But I feel as though Devin have enough arsenal just to keep Tank at bay for 12 rounds right now. When Tank learn how to get on the inside,
listen to what you put in the chat though. You said you put in the chat. You said it's man down today, tomorrow, and forever.
That's
but
EJ.
yet when you're here talking about boxing, you're talking more about Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney. I ain't hear shit about the dream. I ain't hear nothing about the dream.
One thing.
I don't hear shit from Martin Luther King. I ain't hear from Devin the Dream. I ain't hear nothing.
Devin a nightmare and Tank something different. But one thing, EJ is a world destroyer. My whole thing, when you first met me, I'm telling you, I'm going in by EJ first and foremost. I know EJ capabilities. I know that the denial, the accidents, the record, and how that thing will throw you off of your accomplishments and who you want to fight and what you could have fought, the people you could have fought. And one thing I want Bud Crawford is to keep that energy. Him, his fan, you, World Combat Sport, I love you. Keep the energy. Because EJ going to prove something to you. And you're going to be a fan after that fight. I promise you. EJ is something different, man. Floyd got his ass whooped by EJ, but yet and still he picking Terrence Crawford. You know why he doing that? Because he's saying the crowd. Because Floyd is a person, no drinking, you'll never see him. He party, but you'll never catch him partying with the Hennessy, with the Remy, is always with the bottled water. With the hose, whatever, but never doing nothing off the record. Never tested positive for no. EJ the same fighter, but some people put that cup in his hand. The Ferrari flipped over. We got that. It's on record. But when you
say some people put the cup in his hand,
not even them. I wasn't.
You said some people put the cup in his hand.
Some people. Oh, EJ was drunk. Who said that?
So EJ is being force-fed alcoholic beverages.
No. Listen, World Combat Sport. What I'm saying is, to those people,
you're making up a lot of excuses for.
It's not excuses. You got to do what I am making up and telling you it's not making up. I'm telling you, got a warrior ready to get in there and fight EJ. Finna fight finna fight Terrence Crawford, who finna get in there right now first and deal with this Ugas first. But after this Ugas situation, I want you, the corner Terrence Canfish Crawford, tell him it's time to fight EJ, bro.
Okay, but let me get this out the way though. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to what we talking about, what do you think about this? What Errol Spence put up there when Chris said not buying the PPV, and then Errol Spence said not asking you to regular TV.
I mean, you at the Canelo Alvarez, you got the most
You gonna
sought
answer the
out.
question as
You
far as
got
the
the
tweet?
most sought out the fighter in boxing, Errol Spence Jr. People paying to see that. You could sit there and fix the numbers. The numbers still reigning 300,000-400,000, bro. The number's still there after second and
Who
third
doing
count.
300 and 400,000? You talking about what? Who you talking about? Errol Spence Ugas?
That fight has not come to fruition. I mean, it's coming to fruition, but after
Do
that,
you think
I'm
the
predicting.
potential?
I'm
You
predicting.
think the potential out there to do that amount of 400 on
Yeah, because
Ugas?
the
Hell
anticipation
no.
of Errol
Hell
Spence,
no. Hell no.
Errol Spence comeback got most of y'all
He already
judges.
been back. He came back against Danny Garcia, dog, at
No,
AT&T. He already
that's
had a comeback.
but see, most people, it's the Cuban sensation. This Ugas, this is the same one just coming off his biggest win against
Cuban
Manny Pacquiao.
sensation.
He coming off his biggest win against Manny Pacquiao, though, world combat. They saying EJ can't do it. He can't beat
I mean, I hear
Ugas.
you on that. That I agree with. He does have momentum coming off the Pacquiao win, and Errol Spence, he's just coming off the momentum of his cheerleading squad. You know what I'm saying? His cheerleading squad got brand new tennis shoes and pom poms, and they easy
Okay,
they eager to get out
let's
there and cheer with their hands
okay,
up in the air.
okay. Let's address this.
You know what I'm saying? The
Let's address
Spencerholics,
that.
boy, they never
Let's
stop.
address that. Let's address that. What you just said. What you mean by that part, though, my G?
By what part?
The Errol Spence cheerleading team.
Look, when y'all come up,
that?
look, Ben, when y'all come up with all these names, I kept it professional. I say the Spencerholics, but you don't call Crawford Canfish,
Yes.
and you don't goddamn say Justice League and stuff like that.
So
now,
you,
we all
so,
grown
so hold up.
men. Look, we all grown men, Ben.
Right.
So therefore,
right.
you're able to have a decent conversation without the derogatory side of it.
Okay.
I don't think it's any harm in cheerleading. You all are cheerleading from the sideline. Be good at what you do. Be the best at what you do, dog.
Okay, now see when you address
the
cheerleader, when you address the cheerleader, so you telling me you never heard of the Bud Justice League? That they named themselves. That they named themselves. You hear what I'm saying? And you got so you telling me you never heard of the Bud Justice League? A few other.
I don't get into that. I'm too old to be putting hashtags and shit out there all the time.
But see, if you gonna throw stones at being Israel for throwing stones at them, I'm telling you,
this is not. Look, Ben, this is not a tit for tat, bro.
Okay,
I'm too old for that. This is not a tit for tat.
This is what you
you came in here firing off shots. You did.
No, but you also be with your little shots too.
So every time you tune into the channel and you click the link, you're gonna basically hold me accountable for something I said when I didn't even have. Look, when I didn't even have a panel.
One thing
I'm just up here talking.
One thing I would not get, and I'm gonna be a man of my word when I say I stay in my olive branch. I would never get back into a conversation with you like we having a debate right now, my G. This ain't no disrespect. You can't say I'm coming off at you disrespect. We talking about how people saying the Bud Justice League, and you just said the Errol Spence cheerleader. Listen to what you just said.
So how did that affect you?
Now
how did that affect you?
That's
you can't be a cheerleader. There's male cheerleaders out there.
Hold up. You said
it's
you called
cheerleaders out there.
You called my name first. The World Combat. You said you and them cheerleaders. See, I take that.
I separated you from the cheerleaders. I said you and the cheerleaders. I didn't put you as a cheerleader squad.
But you said me and. That's putting me with them. Come on, man. You experienced, man. You educated, bro. Don't play with me like that. But anyway, we passed that. I take them stones, but my thing is I'm gonna address the Bud Justice League first because I feel as though you might be a president in the Bud Justice League. And this why you got to respect what EJ trying to do, though, World Combat Sport. You feel what I'm saying? You got to do with all these injuries, ready to go against your favorite fighter, Bud Crawford. I ain't said, you know how I said, but I ain't do that. But he ready to get in there with the dude that you told me, man, he on the knockout spree now. You sure EJ want that? Yeah, he want it. Because Bud gonna get knocked out that night. he gonna get what he been giving everybody else. And I'm telling you straight up, ain't nothing in Bud arsenal. His arsenal, fuck his toolbox, World Combat Sport. Bo Mac can't tell him nothing. The rest of them trainers ain't gonna be. They might as well get in the ring that night. And if y'all think the Mikey Garcia performance was wonderful, wait till Terrence Canfish Crawford get in the ring with EJ, that world destroyer. Bombs away.
Jay Ocho mentioned that Errol last fight should have been on regular TV. You know what I'm saying? Against Danny Garcia. That's truth. That's
You
truth.
know,
I agree.
You agree. Well, I ain't gonna say what you agree to because you make
Hold
a
up.
lot
I'll
of
let you
sense.
get your square right. But hold up. I have to address something also. You know, that makes sense with Jay Ocho mentioned also that I say all the time on my live is that out of the past 5 fights, how many knockouts has Errol Spence had considerable, compared to Terrence Crawford? Terrence Crawford stopped everybody in the welterweight division. What about Errol Spence? Like, it's man down, but they motherfuckers be on 2 feet when the last
When
bell
you talk
rings.
about the caliber of
They be
fight,
on 2 feet, dog.
yeah, be on 2 feet, punched and
They
drunk.
finished the fight.
But no, yeah, they finished the fight, but they don't be the same fighter after they finish the fight. The
Man, that's
brutal,
just a myth, dog. That's just a
ain't no myth.
mythological term
It's not
that
a
y'all
mental
talking
lot.
about.
Look at
Nobody
all the fighters he
look.
fought.
I see Danny Garcia up there modeling motherfucking clothing lines and shit. He seemed like
Get in
he
the
the
ring.
same.
Get in the ring. I see your boy modeling clothes, but he ain't the same Jab Judah, not to throw no shades at Jab Judah.
Nah, bro, you ain't switching all the way. We ain't doing the
I
time
ain't doing
traveling
that.
shit.
I'm talking about
Ben, you gotta stay
Terrence.
on topic,
I'm
bro.
talking
You
about
everywhere
Terrence
right now.
Crawford. I'm talking about Terrence Crawford going to Disney World at the lagoon. Talk about he had the ocean looking for a big fish.
When
Bro, stop
when
playing.
was his last fight though? When was his last fight?
What you talk about with the Danny Garcia? Or you talk about with
No,
Sean
I'm
Porter?
talking about Terrence Crawford. When was his
Sean
last fight?
Porter. Sean Porter, who
So
been
he
Israel,
stopped Sean Porter in 10.
who
No,
been
hold up, Ben. Hold up. He stopped Sean Porter. So you trying to tell me he doesn't deserve a vacation with his family to look for the little minnow? Finding Nemo? He shouldn't go to the ocean to find
see, this is what I love
Nemo?
you. See, when you do that though, you got to turn your
He
energy
shouldn't
up.
have the right to go find Nemo?
You gotta turn your energy up, world combat. When you say
Seriously.
these things, when you said it's like they eat finding the minnow. EJ is not no minnow. EJ gonna eat him. I hope his family ain't standing by the shore. I hope Bomac is eat his ass too, cause he training. He telling Terrence Crawford that bullshit. So we gonna devour his ass up too, closer by the shore. But everybody else, we want y'all
But
ass
you
to get.
skipped over my boy Jay Ocho. You have to respect the people in the live chat. He
I
said
did.
Era ain't had a KO in years.
But one thing EJ has been doing, Ocho, is putting people in punch drunk situation. And what I mean by that, those fighters do not be the same after EJ. None of them. Pick one out. Pick uno out. And we just got off Danny Garcia. Sean Porter ain't been the same. And you know I commend Sean Porter for exposing Terrence Crawford chin. EJ gonna do a more beautiful job than what Terrence did, because he was getting into that chin, bro. He was tapping him on it, and you talk about a defensive fighter that Terrence Crawford, that all the Justice League be over here promoting. Oh, Terrence is the most defensive skill fighter that EJ gonna be ever faced with, and you let Terrence Crawford and you let Sean Porter, and Kenny Porter cheated me out of a fight, because I think Sean Porter deserved to go out on this shield. And if he got up and one judge had him at a draw, World Combat Sport,
Hold on
I
for a
think
second. L Dub. I just put it up there because Boxing Plug had mentioned it. It's something that I already had in my archives. That's all. I'm just I was just getting around with it because I heard it and people was chatting about it on YouTube. I wasn't gonna talk anything about it until the end of this. After I get finished with Jake Paul and Chavez Jr. Go ahead, man.
shout out to J Dub. My J Dub is that dude, man. You know J Dub is. Hey, Jay a trip, man. That's another J Dub in that J Dub. You in that Bud just to lead though, bro. I told you when that fight happened, my G. I hope you working in the ER. Cause Bud gonna pay you a visit that night, man. EJ gonna send him to the ER, man. You gonna have personal pictures with your boy, your favorite fighter. You gonna have him. I'm telling you, I want Bud to come with his best game, man.
And look, I have to I totally agree with you, Ben, about Bud going to the ER. He'll be there to show his sportsmanship after the fight and visiting EJ. I agree with you on that. Because EJ used to the ER. He been there several times. So shit, I'm pretty sure Terrence Crawford go there and visit him and see how everything is. You
So
know what I'm saying?
which fighter
See if
sent
he
him
getting
to
the
the
right
ER?
meds or whatever. See if he getting the right meds or whatever after the fight. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to Terrence Crawford, man, for being a good sportsman and potentially showing up to the post fight after it's all said and done. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for that moment too.
And that's gonna be a beautiful fight, though. World Combat Sport.
I'm
And I
talking
like
about the post fight with EJ being in the ER and Terrence Crawford
see
showing his
you
sportsmanship and
back to this
showing up.
first fight. And one thing I want you to I'm telling you though on World Combat Sport, I want you to study and look at EJ and look at Terrence Crawford real closely. It's nothing in. I'm talking about. I don't see no arsenal, no defense. The switch hit.
But
The
you
man.
saying stuff that people said already. Like I already
It's
done
not.
heard
It's
this
not.
before.
It's not saying
It's
something.
about to be
It's fact.
2022. You talking
It's
about shit that's old and stale already,
it's
dog.
no. It's not old and sell because your boy at Disney World talk about he looking for the big fish. I'm stuck on that. And you know where he at. And like I told people, here goes some new shit. Where is Bud T Bud Crawford? He with MTK Global. Did he go back to Bob Arum begging the Bob Arum? We know he ain't with the money team because Floyd throwing flags up there begging for him to come over there. He ain't even talking, he ain't even in cahoots with the great. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand it. I got him on a milk box. Has anybody seen or do
But
anybody know?
did you see what I just posted on the thumbnail though?
I
That's
see.
what I
I
heard,
see.
buzzing all through the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, Nemo!
Yeah.
Yo, Nemo!
At Disney World. At Disney
Yo,
World.
Nemo!
Disney World. He at Disney World looking for Nemo. He on the
Hey
Cash App.
yo,
He on the
Nemo!
Disney Cash App looking for Nemo. That's why he talk about he couldn't sell. Then some of the people in the bus. Shout out to L Dub. L Dub, I know you bought the
L
fight.
Dub, you welcome to be on the channel if you got permission.
L Dub, I know you
You
bought the
welcome to
fight.
join the live chat if you got permission, L Dub.
L Dub kind of scared of being Israel, man. He don't be want to jump on, man. I told L Dub, man, I'm born again, man. I don't got no smoke for nobody who don't got smoke for me, bro. And you talk good boxing, L Dub, the boxing plug. I don't
But
understand
everybody
what.
ain't all about debating all the time, man. Some people just all about what their curriculum is, getting their curriculum out there. In this case, boxing media, organizing their shit, planning, and then putting it out there to their audience. A lot of cats, include myself, I don't sit up here and debate all the time. I don't let people join the panel and talk about different topics that has absolutely nothing to do with my title like you do. I just let you get your words off, man. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you got a title up here talk about Yo Nemo. Crawford search for big fish at Disney World. Come on, man. Where you gonna find a shark at Disney World, man? For real?
You got
What?
that right. Where you gonna find
Where?
a shark when you ain't looking for one? You finding Nemo.
But where is who Bud signed to start this
Yo,
negotiation?
Nemo.
Where is he at to sign? MTK Global. He would turn. I hope he would Bud Crawford Promotions. That's who he need to be with. Not no Bomac, not no Bob Arum, not
There
no
go one for
Mayweather.
there go one for you. Truth be told, they can't tussle with youngin. Rumble, young man, rumble. Goddamn Ben is mesmerized off that thumbnail right there.
And that's a beautiful one, though. And you keep one thing about your World Combat, you got some stuff in your arsenal. I just think you should turn your energy up a little more. That's all. I think
My
you got
energy is the way it
your
is. It's
receipts.
it's
You
on
got
serve me
receipts.
good in my life, dog.
You got receipts, man. You got receipts on shit you be talking about. That's why I can't. Some days I be want to join the panel, but you be cooking so good, I be like, I just got to stay in the chat. Cause you be having me just, okay, that's what I understand. And I'm gonna go back to the franchise title with it. And this the thing, and if George Camboso just fight Devin Haney, the World Comeback Sport, that would clear everything up at 135. That would at least have everything else. If he say, "Well, I'm gonna put one in at 140. I'm gonna stick a franchise title at 147." If he start implementing these things, these titles at an alarming rate at different titles, people might be accepted to it. But when you got boxing fan, hardcore boxing fan, seeing how you treat this guy over here, it don't make no sense. And how can me as a boxing fan, first World Combat Sport? I don't give a damn what Suleiman saying. If Jose Suleiman, his daddy was here, he'll put a little more respect on it. I'm gonna say that much. Cause I know Jose Suleiman, not personally, World Combat Sport, but I heard, with the Tyson, the man was a great man. I don't know what Mauricio Suleiman doing. Cause the disrespect he giving Devin Haney. Only to Devin Haney, World Combat Sport. Who else he giving this disrespect to, though? Be honest, my G. We being honest right here. If I'm wrong, I jump off it. But damn, this man done proved himself. Ask to fight them same people. Them same people that's in position right now, begging to fight him. But y'all
Let
gonna
me
overlook.
let L Dub, welcome to the panel, man. Salute. Y'all be sure y'all subscribe to L Dub, man. What's good with you, bro?
What's good, World Combat? And Ben, salute to you.
Shalom, Elder.
What's good? Now, I just want to know what I need permission for. Who's supposed to give me permission, World Combat?
Man, look, one thing about L Dub, he always talking slick in the dang live chat, but when I return the favor, he gotta actually find out what I'm talking about.
No, it's all
What are you
good.
talking about, dog? When you
Man,
talk slick, I let that shit
hey,
slide.
World
I said,
Combat.
okay.
L-Dub on that Prozac.
I just
He
said
working
you had
the
to get
ER.
permission to join my panel. That's all.
My dog on that
No
Prozac.
permission. And
And what's
then,
good?
what's
Good with
good? You
what's
said
good with
you said I was running from you, Ben. Ben, I'm running from you.
what's good? What's good? What's good with all this hate? Cause we got this Uga fight, man. What's up with that? Free TV. You wanted on free TV World Combat Sport?
Nah, see, I never hated on the fight. I'm probably the only one on YouTube that actually broke down the fight. It's on my channel. I never hated on it. I always said he was gonna fight Ugas Whipperway off the belt. My thing is, I don't understand why people don't understand. They're taking what Bud do out of context. Like I think you do a lot of that too. You don't really know what's going on with what he actually doing. So I think you take it out of context and you put it on him like he's not trying to have the fight.
Okay, when you say that bit Israel, I like that, Doug, because you addressed me first. And when you say I'm doing that, where's Bud signed to? Is he signed to MT Clay Global? He going back? He better not go back over there to that top rank shit. Is he? Bob Al Heyman over there? We got Floyd, man. LWC Floyd throwing the money flag up at this dude. We got Eddie Hearn over there. Where your boy at? That's all I want to say. I'm telling you, I'm putting him on the milk cart till I find out. And I hope, L-Dub, this me to you, I hope when he come out the closet, because he in the closet at Disney World, talk about he looking for the big fish. Whenever he make his public appearance, I want him to say he got T-Bud promotion and he want all the smoke. That's what I'm looking for. Because if he don't do that, L-Dub, I'm not paying no more. I'm not hitting that button for a T-Bud no more. And I paid for the Sean Porter fight. I told you that several times. But one thing I'm going to tell you again, I hope you working that night in the ER. Because my boy World Combat Sports say, oh, Bud going to show respect to EJ. No, ain't going to be no showing respect because he going to be on the ER and his favorite fan going to be resuscitating him. And that's L-Dub. What's good, my G? Straight love. We talking boxing.
I mean, it really don't matter who he with or who he signed with or whatever, because if you saying Spence he a man of his word, it really don't matter. He don't even have to fight really. he can just wait on that. But I think he's gonna do some things with GSE Sports Management. Go check them out. Research that. He's been signed with them since like August or July. Go sign with them. You can go check that out if you don't know about them. And then MTK is gonna bankroll some of his shit. So he might not even need a promoter. Probably just working on the best deal or whatnot like that. So it really don't matter if he fights or not. You know what I'm saying? Even though he is projected to come back the first quarter of 2022. So it's all good. But if Spence, it's not really on. It's never been on Bud to make the fight. That's why I've been trying to tell people. It's on Spence, and he's telling y'all that. He's telling everybody, I'm gonna fight everybody on my side of the street, collect all the belts before I fight Bud. So how is Bud's fault for the fight not happening?
But before Ugas, when the Ugas elder before the Ugas fight had came to fruition, when them people were saying they're gonna throw him in a little tournament, the man asked for your boy again though. Your boy said if he ain't getting the 60-40 in his favor, he don't want the fight. He said he not entertaining, and this where Fat Boy Bob Aaron came out again and said he fucking up the money. I don't understand it. Mathematics make sense to me right now.
Easy work because Spence never wanted to negotiate with Bud behind the scenes at the table. And that talking in the public, that's what me and you doing right now on internet. That's nothing. When
That's
when you
nothing exactly.
when you actually go to the table, that's why these guys are saying Spence don't want to fight, whatever. I'm not the one to say that. I'm saying that Spence has enough power. If he wanted to make that fight, he could have. Look
That's
what
the
he did.
making the fight 60-40. I mean,
Okay, no, but no, feel me on this one though. If he's saying all this stuff, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna clean up my side of the street, get all the belts.
you back to that though.
No, 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 no. I
You
know, I
keeping the
know. But the
holy
point,
goalpost where it's
But
at.
it's relevant. It's relevant though, Ben.
the point gonna go full circle because if he's saying all of that, that means he's not willing to negotiate. And on top of that,
Yes, but
he, he
if we got a third belt we could pick up, and we talking undisputed with this final fight with T-Bud. Don't let your energy change, the
it never
World
changed.
Combat Sport, Terrence Bud Crawford. Y'all keep that same energy and be ready to fight.
Man,
Y'all got to
Spence,
drag y'all
listen,
man to the ring. He
listen,
Let
been
me
bro.
ask
tapping.
y'all. Let me both ask y'all this. When you talking about he should take.
I ain't saying what he should do.
No, hold up, man. I'm gonna ask
60-40 is a
L-Dub
good
this.
judge.
L-Dub, what do you think that Errol Spence is attempting to negotiate right now as far as percentage? What do you think it is? What percentage scale?
Nothing because he don't want to go to the negotiation table. Like if you can say anything in the media, that don't mean you actually want to negotiate. I think that's just a ploy or just a
But
saying. If when I get there, I'm just gonna give you that because you can't say I'm gonna give you 60-40 or whatever the number the split is if you're not willing to negotiate. That's
but
the whole thing with this whole when y'all say Bud is ducking. How is he ducking when his team reached out to Spence team and his
how
team said
wait
no?
World Combat? Let me rebuttal. What
Rebuttal.
how that happened? When Bob Aaron came, this Bo Mac. This when I was telling other, and I told you this before. Bo Mac hold a better say than Bob Aaron because he was his manager at that time. I don't know what's going on with Bud contract now. I don't know who dealing with what, but Bo Mac being the manager, he could have said no. He could have said yes. When you talk about let's make the fight in my favor, bro, or ain't no negotiating. I mean, if you could say there, you can make the fight. He trying to make the fight. But if you telling me that I should give you everything that I work for, Elder, make that shit make sense. How? Just for the bike. If you gonna sit here and sell a bike, remember I told you, Bud, selling that WBO belt. Oh no, he ain't doing that. You make that shit make sense. I'm gonna stand on it again. I'm gonna start promoting that again,
Okay,
Elder.
I'm gonna
He's
make it make
selling
sense.
that
I'm gonna make it
WBO
make
belt.
sense to you. I'm gonna make it make sense to you. It's real simple. Yo, when Bud's team reached, because Bud put in the clause that when he re-signed with Top Rank, that if he don't try to make the fight or if he don't get the fight with Spence, then that's an extra $1 million in the
We know
contract.
about it. That been in this
Okay,
contract.
okay. Then
That been in the contract.
follow me then. So Bud, excuse me, team Bud them, they reached out to them and they wanted to make the fight, to talk about the fight. It's not about the split. It's about sitting down to actually negotiating and trying to get a format on how we're going to make this fight.
So let me ask you a
But
question.
hold on. I'm not finished though, because if I don't finish, you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it. So when Spence them turned it down, they didn't turn. Well, they just said they doing something else. What he said he was gonna do. So you cannot blame Bud for not trying to make the fight if that team reached out. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
That's all I'm saying.
I heard that,
And
but
you got to
that.
debunk that though. We don't debunk that before you go somewhere else.
Okay, I'm finna debunk it.
Okay.
Because when you speak of reaching out and you talk about who reached out, you have Bob Aaron. This one I'm gonna go back to the thing though, bruh. Bob Aaron said this man fucking up. This is promoter. This is investor though, L-Dub. But as a person from team, if I was in Bud Crawford, it's time for you to invest in yourself, brother. That's all I've been telling you, man. Bud Crawford, all the things y'all saying, oh, if they don't make the fight, he get a beautiful contract he got Bob Aaron, man. But we as fans of Undisputed Me want to see this shit here. And then you got a person said, okay, the Ugas shit fucked up. I want to reach out to you. Then you got this dude who this blind dude, undisclosed person, go to the WBC convention saying that Terrence Crawford, he represents Terrence Crawford. Mauricio Suleiman went up public and said, I don't know, basically, who the fuck is you? Man, you better we talk to the promoters. See, now this is what Bomac could have implemented if Bomac signed him. He could have said right then and there, and it would have superseded anything Mauricio Suleiman, because Bomac hold a bigger share to Terrence Crawford than a Bob Aaron. Bob Aaron just a promoter though, my G. But when you talk about people trying to reach out and make the fight and debunk what you talking about, you got to do on the other end, EJ, saying I'm finna split that basically everything with you to make this fucking fight. 10%. You saying fuck that. I want the 60 or it's no fight. How can we start negotiating, Elder? Make that make sense. I debunk what you're saying. But how can we start negotiating to make fight when you want 60%? You just came out of Terrence Crawford, a Sean Porter fight. Beautiful fight. Beautiful fight.
You didn't debunk it. You just talking around a circle.
How is it not talking about something when you say Bob Aaron saying he want to make the fight? He want to make this your investor.
But listen,
but at the same time, when you got Bomac, is Bomac not Bob Aaron? Was not. Excuse me.
Hey, y'all let each other get your point out. You say you debunked it, so let L-Dub reply.
Okay, do you think, L-Dub?
Because you never told me that why the Spence didn't want to negotiate, but we already know that, right? Because he wanted to clean up his side of the street. So
I just told you why.
Okay, but hold check though. Is this 60-40? Is this 60-40 after he get all the belts, or 70-30 after he get all the belts? Or is it? That's
the goalpost moving again.
No, hold check though. So this is what, when I talk about this stuff, this is why I be trying to tell people they missed it. And I say this: the only thing that Bud messed up at is he tried to negotiate when he already knew what Spence's plans was. Okay. He did know that.
When you say he tried to negotiate,
I'm not finished though, bro.
When he tried to negotiate,
I'm not finished though. You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get it if you know what I'm saying. If he tried to negotiate the fight, or he reached out, or they tried to make it, which was part of his contract, you already admitted to, and they said no, then how's it on Bud? That's what I'm saying. You never said why it's on Bud ducking or how it's on him for not trying to make the fight. If he want to do 60-40 either way, 70-30, when is he trying to do it? Is he trying to do it before he get the third belt or after? Or Bud can't negotiate, can't reach out with him? I'm just saying.
Hold up, Dan. It's my turn. I can answer that. Okay, this is what I was gonna say to the Ben and L-Dub. Like I said on my live weeks ago, people believe that they talking about Bud should just take the 60-40. But what they're not telling you is that Spence is trying to negotiate 70-30. Spence with Mikey Garcia was 60% PPV share, Sean Porter 60, and Danny Garcia 60. Errol Spence wants 70-30 for this fight. They keep on talking about why don't Bud take 60-40 like it's an ascension from 50-50. No, it's not. He's trying to get 60-40. Errol's trying to do 70-30. That's fact. I know that.
After he see This what you and
And for those of you that's tuned in, remember I told you, Errol's trying to negotiate 70-30, and
But
Terrence is trying to get 60-40.
see,
And a lot has been said on here is correct when it comes down to him attempting to negotiate, but negotiation is still active right now with that percentage.
yeah, but
You
then
know, Bud ain't trying to take no 70-30
but then
just
when
because because Spence has 3 belts.
that's a lot to consider though, World Combat. And this the thing what makes
70-30 because you got 3 belts.
But then before the 3 belts was at stake, you had a 60-40 in your face.
No. That's a lie. That's just the narrative out here on YouTube.
No,
That's just the narrative out here on YouTube, dog.
That's not a narrative.
You can't believe everything if you're not talking to people that's actually running the show. You know what I'm saying? Like I know people out here talk to people. I do too. I'm just telling you, people believe that it's a 50-50 that Terrence Crawford is trying to get when it's a 60-40. Errol Spence is looking at it like he's going to have more hardware after the Udenis Ugas fight, and he wants 70-30 to Terrence Crawford 1 belt. So he believes that's fair. But Terrence ain't trying to hear that shit.
When you look at what's at stake before and after though, on World Combat.
Man, it's championships like anything else. Look at Caleb Plant. Man got over 10 mil, dog.
See, I'm one of the first. L-Dub will tell you this. I tell you, if you can negotiate $50 million to fight me, I'm not mad at you because I'm gonna try to get $57 million to fight you. You feel what I'm saying? World Cup, they put.
So how does the contract become fair for both fighters? A rematch clause?
See,
how do we make it fair for both fighters?
Be the beautiful. That's a 2 fight. That's not a 1 fight, man. Come on, that might be a trilogy, man.
No,
a fight like shit. You don't think so?
No,
man,
I
this
don't.
Is the most talked about fight outside of Deontay.
Fantasy fights. We already had Canelo unify entire division. While these cats are still up here talking about a fight.
We got EJ steady collecting belts, and I want EJ.
He ain't collecting shit, dog. He ain't got damn fault. Udenis Ugas. What are you saying?
Is it a makings? That's facts. Tell me I'm wrong about them facts being in the makings. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, whether you feel this is petty or not. He has to make it to the ring first.
And he does. And I give World Combat Sport, I told you, your shit you been on.
He has to put down the cup first.
World Combat Sport, the shit you been on lately, you been on some shit. Turn your energy up 100 degrees. You're gonna have so many Errol Spence fans around here at you. I'm telling you. I
don't have to operate like that. I don't have to operate the way you want me to operate.
No, not how I want you to operate. But I think at the same time, like what L-Dub was saying, even some of the things you saying, if a person get all 3 belts, history, what Floyd did, other people, and we not comparing them, even with the 30%, like you saying, I'm still saying it might be the 60-40. You saying you got other plugs way better than the plugs and I'll take that. And like I told L-Dub, if a man fuck around and get this 3rd belt, World Combat Sport, you know this what it is. You can't get mad the man putting in all 350 pay-per-view buys. Your best pay-per-view buy was with who? Amir Khan? That you allowed Amir Khan.
I could care less about these bloviated numbers, dog. I do. I can care less about that.
So we trying to make the fight to be negotiated. How can we be fair? And then one side you say you don't care.
But you know, you hear Bud had 35K all the way up to 190K. I don't want to hear it because it's not something that's fact checked, dog. But you saying it's 350K. That's not true. That's not a fact.
With EJ.
It's not really about the numbers. It's about Spence.
Yes, it is.
No. But hold on though. It's not really about the numbers per se. It's really about them guys willing to sit down at the negotiation table. And we already know that Spence not willing to do that until you get the 3rd belt.
Yeah, so, why you keep standing on that? He not willing to do that.
Because that's I know that as a fact. He's not. I'm trying to tell you.
This man offering you half of the motherfucking pie.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Yo, I'm telling you, it's not about offering on. It's not like you know how like you just doing a 60-40 split on YouTube or whatever, or just come out on Twitter and say that. That shit don't mean nothing if you're not willing to sit down and negotiate that. Even if you know a good negotiation is what you can negotiate, and you might have to give up something when both sides are satisfied. Those guys haven't even got at the table. That's why when people say this is a fantasy fight, this, that, and the third, whatever. And speaking on the pay-per-view numbers, I gotta touch on this. If you're gonna talk about this, we don't know none of these guys' actual numbers, right? But we know Bud did do pay-per-view. Those three guys that Spence did pay per view, they didn't have no numbers because they never did pay per view. So how what I'm saying you can't justifiably say, well, this guy can get this percentage and Bud got to get this percentage because he
Okay,
did this
let
pay
me
per
make
view.
sure I heard you
And
clearly.
but hold check though. If Bud did one pay per view and that shit was low number, let's say I'm just gonna throw a number 75,000. I don't know what it was, but Danny, Mikey, or Sean did a pay per view before that. So Bud combination of one pay per view, also all their pay per views before they fought Spence. But why Bud getting a hard time on pay per view numbers? Because he's not PBC.
No, see,
Why?
you just made a one-sided story though.
Is it? But debunk it
Yeah,
though.
Dub, you just made a one-sided
You got you
story.
got you got to
You
debunk it
just
though.
only leaned on Bud. Listen
Debunk
what
it.
you just said. Let me debunk. I'm gonna use your word again. Debunk. Let me debunk what you just said. When you take Post Star, Amir Khan, and Sean Porter fight, that's 3 fights your boy had on pay-per-view. Being Israel bought all 3 fucking fights. You add all 3 of them fights up, what number you come up with?
You tell us. Present the documentation.
See, I thought I was talking to L Dub, and now here go
Oh,
World Combat Sport. You
no, no,
said,
I don't. No, I don't. I
let
don't.
me do this World Combat.
I don't know the. I don't know the
Oh,
numbers
you know
actually.
the numbers
No,
because
I
you
don't.
just was one-sided.
No, no, I was
But
one.
okay,
I was one
okay,
side. No, no, hold on.
let me just run some
Okay,
numbers
go ahead.
by you,
Go
and
ahead.
World come back by the computer, and he'll tell you if I'm hallucinating. I'm
Okay.
gonna just run some numbers by you. We're gonna start with the Post Star, 50,000
Okay.
K. Then we're gonna go to the American, which was the 150K. You got 200,000 right there. We got conflicting numbers with the EJ. I mean with the Sean Porter and the Terrence Crawford. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. The 190. We had 390 in 3 fights. 390 in 3 fights.
Right.
Mikey Garcia sold 400,000, damn near 400,000 pay-per-views. ESPN reported this shit.
No, with who? Before he fought
Mikey,
Spence.
the first fight, EJ went on.
With Robert Easter?
No,
He
no,
No,
did that
no,
with Robert
no,
Easter?
no.
no,
Listen.
no.
World
You
Combat
missing it
Sport.
though. You missing what I was saying though. I'm talking about the guys that fought Spence before they fought on
no.
pay
I'm
per
gonna
view.
get on Spence. You
No,
was
no,
on
no,
Terrence
no, no,
Crawford.
no, no. Hold on
I
though.
just gave you all
No,
your numbers added
no.
up,
Right.
and
But
I just gave
you
you
missed
one fight.
my point though.
I ain't miss your point.
Yes, you
You
did.
trying to
Yes, you
avoid
did.
my point.
No, no. Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna go. Then I'm gonna go because
You
I'm
trying to
gonna hold my.
avoid my point.
No, go ahead.
With
Go
that
ahead.
one fight, Mikey Garcia, who
Uh huh.
claimed to be great, the same fighter that your dude gonna claim to be great in, we
Right.
gonna do some phenomenal numbers.
Okay.
Then you got to remember he had a Danny Garcia. Then he had a motherfucking a Sean Porter, because a Campos was that you can consider that free TV. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then you add up all them numbers, and the dude, I'm telling you, I'm ready to break everything down with you. But you telling me, since you missed the 6th belt, since you've been the lightweight champ, since you've been the undisputed junior welterweight champ, and the current WBO welterweight champ. I told you this long time ago, L Dub. This man out here trying to sell that WBO belt instead of fighting with honor and dignity. If Errol Spence was out here fucking him with numbers, if you do the math, okay, this man's selling this and we predict this here. Well, let me get a flat fee of 15 million. I don't give a fuck what them numbers do. If he talk this when y'all can say negotiating. Never went out public, because this the shit that Bob Aaron was trying to tell y'all he was trying to say. Right now, I don't know who Terrence Crawford signed with. I hope after this Ugas fight, L-Dub, that your boy sign his fight with EJ. I'm praying he do. I want Terrence Crawford to be in the best shape of his life. Because I know what EJ over there doing down there in DeSoto right now. Right now. 307 in DeSoto time. 407 on Eastern time. I don't know where you at, L Dub. My dog World Comeback is in the ATL being Israel that's in Miami on my way to Baltimore. But this what it is though. EJ training, and I know Bud somewhere doing the same thing. I don't take nothing away from Bud Crawford. You never heard me L Dub saying I call him Canfish because I know when you compare the two between him and EJ, that's all he amount to. But as far as his accomplishment, man, I would never take nothing away from Mr. Six Belt, bro. He did his thing numerous of times, bro. But if you talk about fair though, L Dub, make this shit make sense. You said I'm debunking them, and I ain't saying it. You just was one sided when you brought up all of when you ain't even wanted to address post star number. And I told you the 50,000, the Amir Khan. Do you know what I'm saying? The 150 with Amir Khan, and he took a pay cut. Let Amir Khan be the A side. Got fucking damn near 8 million, 9 million. I don't even know what the motherfucking numbers was. But you got a dude ready to give you a minimum of 12 to Lord knows what the other numbers might be on the fight. And you talk about he pimping you, he lowballing you, because you more accomplished. When you hear LW, when you hear the Bud Crawford fans, they always talk about his accomplishment. And I'll be the first one to give Bud his accomplishment, bro. But what that got to do, LW, right now to this fight? What right now to get this fight made? Your accomplishment? You want to sell that? I told you trying to sell the WBO belt.
You never heard me. You never heard me say anything about his accomplishments. I'm talking about Spence getting to the table. But you didn't.
The table.
But you didn't. But you didn't debunk. You didn't debunk. Hold on though. You didn't debunk my shit though, because I said that those guys that Spence fought on pay-per-view before they fought Spence on pay-per-view, what was their numbers compared to Bud's? Okay, so you didn't debunk that.
That's letting you know Spence is a draw, bro.
I know. I never said that. No, I never said that. So you're taking it another way. I never said no.
Facts. That's not another way. That's factual way.
But I never jumped on that though. I never jumped on that.
Make a lot of sense, right?
No. I understand that, but I never jumped on that though. I'm talking about why it's so hard to make a fight with Bud. If you're going off numbers, right?
It's not hard, bro. If
yes,
you Bud fans.
No, hold on. Let me finish though, because you was cooking. If all these other guys that fought Spence on pay-per-view, you didn't hear nothing about like no split in the public. You ain't hear nothing about that. I ain't know nothing about no split with Porter though. I just know the fight got made. I know the fight got made with Danny. But why now? If we got to hear, oh, you only did this amount with Khan. You forgot about Horn. That was on pay-per-view. Like you ain't like if you putting all that shit, then why we gotta hear his numbers on Bud, but we can't hear the numbers on the other guys before they fought Spence? So I just feel like, to me, the energy is kind of different. But I'm not mad that Spence doing what he's doing. So that's the thing. It's misconception. When y'all talking about Bud fans, which ones? The ones that really talking about the sport, or just want to just hating on Spence? I think it's a difference. There's guys that support Bud and guys that support Spence, and they know what they're talking about. I'm one of the guys that know what I'm talking about with this shit right here. I never turned down Spence or nothing like that. All I'm saying is the power that he has in this game, he could have made that Bud fight if he wanted to. Now, whether y'all say is Bud fall or not, I got the evidence to prove, and y'all see it too with the Pacquiao fight when Bud was negotiating with Pacquiao to make that fight in June. What happened? Spence came from behind and snatched it. He was even in camp working on that shit. Nobody heard anything about that shit. Why? Because he moved in silence and he took that fight from Bud. Hey, that's what's up. That's good shit. What happened with the Ugas fight? The WBA was hell bent to make Ugas fight in a tournament, knowing good damn well he shouldn't be in that tournament with some guys with like 10 or 11 fights. And what Spence do? You know what I'm saying? He did what he had to do, got his team together, and got that third belt to fight for the third belt. So you trying to tell me he can make those bum ass, boss ass moves, but he can't make the move to fight Bud? That's my stance. That's my whole stance though. And y'all, you missed that though. You missed that. Okay, so am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong on that? Am I right or wrong though? Let me know if I'm right or wrong though.
I'm gonna explain. It takes two people to fight.
If one reached out and the other one didn't though. So which one?
See, listen what you're doing. You said you only being one-sided. If you gonna say what I'm telling you, I'm getting you receipts where Bob Aaron came out and said,
Give me the receipts that Smith reached out the Bud to make the fight. Other than the 50, other than that 50-20. Give me those facts where he sat down with their team to say, I'm gonna make this fight with Bud. Tell me when.
So you asked me
Spence.
hold on.
Tell me when Spence did that.
Okay, we addressing the debunk side. The Bob Aaron came out. I'm gonna address the other side what you just said, because I could hold all 4-5 conversations. But when you got his promoter, I'm gonna tell you again, bro, so you'll get that through your head. Saying his fighter, his investor, fucking up my money, L-Dub. He don't want to sit down. But then you got you saying that Errol Spence is refusing to sit down with who? Bo Mack or Bob Aaron? Which one we refusing to sit down with?
I mean,
Make sense.
You gotta
Who
sit
he-
down with
who-
you gotta sit down
who?
with Bo Matt. You gotta sit down with Bo Matt.
Who? Well, you got Bob Aaron saying I'm his promoter, I'm his
Yeah.
investor. He fucking it up. But if you
'Cause
got Bo Mack, we don't know what Bo Mack said. Bo
Because what
Mack,
I'm talking about,
We
though,
don't know what either side is saying.
but no, what I'm talking about when them guys reached out. I'm not talking about when he was.
But when you got a dude,
But hold on.
saying
Let me address the comment though, real quick. Then I'll get back to you real quick. Well, I'm talking about before Bud became a free agent, they reached out. Now after the free agent shit, I don't know. I don't know if they did that. You know what I'm saying? If they've been negotiating, I hope they've been. So that's why it can be one way or the other, because I know before, when those guys like 2019 and stuff like that, they did reach out. That was the point of. That's why y'all seen the language change, because before Bud was like, no, I talked to Spence on the phone. He ain't ducking, man. I understand his business. And then it changed to, man, I don't even want that fight no more. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And
but
both guys,
said that? Who said that?
Bud said that, but
you got to hold Bud to
but,
this, L-Dub.
but let me finish though, because so you can get the whole thing. That was the reason why he was saying that, because those guys didn't want to negotiate when they reached out at that time. That's why the narrative changed. I mean, I understand you can take what he's saying and run with it, but at first when he's saying he's not ducking, till he say, well, he don't want to fight, he ain't trying to make the fight. I'm past that. You know something changed, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say.
You gave your boy the pass though, L-Dub. You can't.
I ain't give him no pass. No, reason why I give him a pass because I know he reached out and the dude said
Hey, World
he gonna do
Combat
something
Sport.
else.
World Combat Sport. I know you listening. L-Dub, this for you too. Y'all got to keep Bud Crawford out of protected custody. For real. Y'all got to make him fight with this one, bro.
Yo, I thought the same thing too, and so I started doing my shit and digging like I do. If y'all listen to my channel, y'all see the shit I put out. It don't be on no fake ass shit. So if I put something out, I'm on damn near 100 on it. So if I figure this shit out and go research it, and it's like this, how you don't believe this, but you can believe anything else I drop on my channel and my social media platforms.
I think you got your boy in protected custody, man.
So I got him in protective custody. But what about the others? What about the other people? What about the other people? What about the other people I drop news on? They in protected custody too?
Listen, I'm talking about.
Okay, because it's your boy, right?
Bud Crawford.
See
how you just said? You already said, and I ain't gonna come at you, L-Dub.
Come on, man.
I told World Combat. I said they be coming at me, World Combat. He said, I'm gonna see. And I tell you, man, you just talk about what you just said, what he is to me now. Tell him what you just mumbled out your mind.
But that's your boy. But what about the other stuff I
dropped?
You
see the shit, World Combat.
No, but hold on, though, Ben.
G on your channel.
No, what about the other stuff? What about the other
cooking? I've been cooking L-Dub now.
Bro, no, you ain't never.
And I'm being very respectful with him.
You ain't never cooked me.
Listen. One thing about it, Ben, when y'all say this cooking shit, it means absolutely nothing.
But I want
that's just a way to think you having some type of edge on the debate.
This for the disrespect. This what
look, Ben. All you gotta do is just keep and look. It's a debate between you and L-Dub. Cool. It's a debate. It's a dialogue. But don't say you cooking somebody when you're unwilling to explain what he's putting out there. He asked you about Mikey Garcia. Look, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia. He asked you about it, and then you say he was being one-sided.
No.
But then again, you explained it. Look, I'm giving you your credit. You reversed it, and you talk about Poster and all them. At the end of the day, these managers are communicating. Right now, as we speak, those managers are communicating. It's no way that Errol Spence is going to fight Bud without getting that third belt, because his goal is to unify the welterweight division. It's not. It wasn't Terrence Crawford's initial goal to come out here and unify anything at welterweight. He's just at a point right now where one of the big names happen to be Errol Spence, and people want to see them fight.
And he said
they actually in talks right now. Look, when they was down in Atlanta, I talked to some people that was talking about some shit before it even came out. You know, when it was down here for the Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring fight.
When they say you
Me,
boy was
I talk
capping,
to people directly. I don't just listen to the YouTube shit. And I don't even put out everything I hear. I just don't feel the need to unless it's truly important. You know what I'm saying? I got people in my phone also. But when it come down to it, it's like this. Negotiation process is communicated from manager to manager. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, they're not communicating with each other like that on a regularity. Their managers are trying to make this fight happen.
but
I
see,
dropped the gym. I dropped the gym weeks ago and
who the
told
gym?
y'all
When you
when
say
you
you
talk
dropped the
about the
gym,
60, look,
okay,
check this out. When you talk about this 60-40, people got it twisted. They think Terrence Crawford is trying to negotiate 50-50. That's not true. It's the fact that he's trying to negotiate the 60-40 from 70-30.
okay.
And they up here
Now,
thinking it's the other way around. And
who
I feel it's in
is
his right to
Terrence
do that.
Crawford? I want you to go right now. Let Ben Israel know, cause I don't know no more. I thought it was Bomac. They talk about MTK Global. Elder can't give me no
What is
explanation.
MTK Global considered? A what?
A management team, because that's what they said. They say they not no promotion
Have
company.
you heard anything about Bomac not being Terrence Crawford manager anymore?
I don't know who.
No, I'm just saying, have
I
you
heard. You know what I
have
heard?
you or haven't you?
You know what I heard? World Combat Sport. I heard.
It's yes or no. Have you heard that he's not though? Have
I
you
heard.
heard anything about
I heard.
MTK
This what I
Global
heard.
being a part of Team Crawford?
This what I heard. I heard Crawford is free from Bomac, Top Rank. He free to do to sign to whoever to do whatever he choose to do as of this point. That's what I heard. But then now I'm hearing he's ready to go back and sign the Josh Taylor fight with Top Rank. I don't know what Terrence Crawford. Well, being Israel, like I'm gonna keep telling you in the L Dubs and the whole Justice
Is
League,
Ben Israel in the
that
first or
I
third
want
person?
him to invest in himself. I want him to come out with the Terrence
Look,
Crawford.
whenever I hear people like they're not 100% on the team, but yet they want to act like they need to be consultants for the team, that shit don't play right with me. Like, you're not for Team Crawford, so why are you trying to suggest what you think should happen?
Invest in himself is the best thing.
Nobody in their right sense of mind is going to listen to what you have to say because you're
I
not in
don't-
the best interest of the team.
Best interest of the team and best interest of a person is two different things. I
Hey, yo,
make
Ben,
sense.
hey Ben, I got a question for you.
If you gonna sit here and say, if I'm
Look,
telling
Andrew
you,
Charles said no point in trying to reason with the Spence extremists.
definitely not.
Yo, Ben, I
One thing
got a
EJ
question for
ready
you,
to do,
bro.
EJ ready for that smoke. What's good, my dude, Elder?
And no, I was gonna ask you, like, who negotiate for Spence? Is it who negotiate for Spence?
Spence and Al Heyman.
What about you think his pops have anything to do with it too?
His pop's his father, of course. His pop, he
So
listened to his daddy. Spence
right,
is a son with honor.
right. So what I'm saying is that was getting to my point when you was talking about you don't know who would negotiate for Bud. Listen, it's a good thing that MTK is actually getting involved because both guys, Spence and Bud, their purse minimum is going to be extremely high for this fight. It's not going to be under no 10 million for both guys. So if you got somebody like MTK with all the bullshit they come with, they do got a bankroll. So it's actually a good thing. And also, like I told you, look into that GSE management that Bud is working with. They got something to do with it too. So I think it's a good thing when Bud is actually trying to get a team that's going to actually go up against PBC and them, because he's going to need that to sit down with them. So I don't think it's a bad thing. So I don't think it's really have to worry about who he got from promoting him and this, that, and third. Because the real talk, that never stopped the fight from happening on his end in the first place when he was
Let me
with Top Rank.
let me get you a
Never stopped
question.
the fight.
Let me get you a question, Elder. What you think Terrence Crawford should do right now? You think he should sit around and wait to keep Thurman get through with the Marius Barrios, going there with the Marius Barrios, then fight Errol Spence? Or you think he should sideline and wait till the Ugas and Errol Spence and come on in and negotiate if it was up to
When
you?
is the fight though? When he's supposed to step in there with Ugas, Ben?
They talking February to March.
So if it's February
Or
and
March.
Terrence just stepped out the ring in November, why should he take a Thurman fight? And he just got out the ring with Sean Porter.
Listen, it's a lot of talk. Elder don't heard the talk. You don't
Okay.
heard the talk too. That's what he was just saying. He said, Elder just said earlier that Terrence Crawford should ship back. I was just telling another dude, I said, I'll take that. Let Terrence Crawford sit on the sideline and let this fight come to fruition. Because I want Terrence to be training in the best of health. I want EJ.
But on these other platforms, I don't hear you advocating the common sense part of it. That Terrence Crawford just stepped out of the ring with Sean Porter in a tough fight, but yet people acting like he should step right back in the ring against Boots Ennis and everybody else they can throw into the equation like Keith Thurman.
So you heard Big Israel say any of those things?
No, I'm just saying I don't hear you advocating the reasoning for that. Why can't he just wait if he fight once a year, so to speak? Why can't he just wait the arrows? And then they make a fight in August, September.
I told L
like that.
I'm agree with L when he said let Terrence Crawford sit on the sideline, let EJ do that, because I feel as though EJ need the more work right now. If you want to be, you feel what I'm saying? Let him do that, and then Terrence Crawford should go right into negotiation.
Yeah, either way, I don't think it's a bad thing. Me personally, as a boxing fan, I like to see all the top fighters active. So if he take a fight in April, and I don't think it's gonna be against Keith Thurman. I don't really know why that's really a thing. I think it'll be against somebody like, to be honest, a realistic opponent for him will be Regis Prograis if they fight like in April, late April, early May. So
I disagree, L-Dub. He ain't gonna take no fight with no Regis Prograis, dog.
I think Danny Garcia is a better name, though.
But I'm just saying, though, if he did take a fight,
for him to take a Regis Prograis fight at a catch weight?
Nah, it'd be at 147.
No, I mean, Regis saying he ain't trying to go to 147.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool too. But I think that fight is possible. I think that fight more possible than the Danny fight.
Of course not. Of course not, because Danny is more marketable right now than a Sean Porter. He's more accomplished than a Sean Porter. You feel what I'm saying? And then right now, he's more accomplished than the Regis Prograis. He'll sell more than Regis Prograis.
Regis coming off a win, even though it was a Triller card. But Regis right now, how many losses does he has comparable to Danny Garcia?
Danny done been in with some of the.
It don't make a difference. He been getting his ass. Man, Spence made him wear the whole fight, dog.
Let Terrence Crawford do the same thing if that's the case.
I think Regis and Bud is more a marketable fight to me. They both got a little history, even though they haven't fought. They always go back and forth. Now that's a point that you say, World Combat Ball. He said he wasn't going up to 47, but if he'll go up for 47 for a big money fight, and they both dealing with the same people right now. So I don't know, but I say stay active. But if he don't stay active and go to the Spence fight, then that's cool too, because that's what they say that's what Spence been wanting to do, right? Get all the belts and go to Bud. So it shouldn't be no backlash on either thing he do.
Hey, L-Dub, did you see the meeting that him and Regis was talking, and Regis' girl was like, or whoever that was, a family member was talking to Terrence Crawford, how he say, who is Regis? What have he done? Did you see the size difference in them? Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, man. Like, you see the size difference between Terrence and Regis? That'd be a slaughter for Regis, man. But Regis would get slaughtered in that fight.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun fight, and it's a good little, whatever, stay busy. I won't call Regis no stay busy, but that'd be a good fight, whatever. And you can tap into a certain market with that fight, because I think everybody come on and watch that, a certain demographic. But if he don't take a fight, if he just wait for that because he's going off what Spence said, it shouldn't be no backlash. It shouldn't be no backlash, bro. It should be cool in the game. Like, that's the biggest fight we want anyway. And I understand if he don't take a fight, don't want to risk no injuries and stuff like that. So
yeah, why risk an injury and then he's not able to fight Spence? Let's just say Spence pick up the WBA, and then now Crawford's injured. Now we're not seeing shit to 23. You just stay cool, stay tight, stay in the gym, and then after this fight's over in February, then we can start putting shit public, because they are in negotiations, believe it or not. They really talking about this fight behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's dope, man.
Sir Senior, what's good, Sir Senior?
What's up with you, bro? How y'all been?
Chilling, man.
What's good, bro?
Sir,
what you got, bro?
Shalom, Surf. Don't come on with that buffoonery with your boy Bud, with all that cap and Surf, because Bud running.
You said the same thing about about L-Dub. You said the same thing
Hey
about Sir
man,
Sin.
these Bud fans,
You
I
in the
know
wrong
these people.
neighborhood, bro. You in the
Man, I
wrong
know these
neighborhood.
people. Ask them, do they know me, man? I
Don't
know
ring
these
the
people.
doorbell. Don't ring the doorbell if you're unwilling to get the smoke.
I'm here for the smoke.
I'm gonna tell
It's
you
3
like
on
how
1.
Bud
It's
said.
3 on 1. I'm here for it.
You know, I'm gonna tell you how Bud said. Bud told you already that EJ couldn't be the boogeyman because he was chasing him. EJ stopped calling himself the boogeyman and turned to the big fish. I'm just saying.
Sir Senior, man, come on, man. You put in the chat, talk about my boy, man, running for 3 years and all this buffoonery, man. The man, you know, one thing we got right now after the Ugas fight, we got your boy Canfish Corner. And I want to know right now, on World Combat Sport, you gonna support that fight or you gonna keep Bud in protected custody? That's all I want to know.
Support what?
Bud never been in protective custody because Bud has been through and knocked out all his last opponents. When the last time EJ knocked anything out?
EJ putting people in disabled homes, man. People ain't
What disabled? Since when? You talking about something way back then?
Hey,
I used to wrestle in high school. I mean, we all did something back in the day.
I tell you, they ain't been the same since EJ fight. Y'all throw a rock at one of them. I explain it.
And not one person ever said they wanted to fight Bud again. Not one person his whole career never said they want to fight him again. Your boy Sean Porter said just even thinking about him winning and having to fight him again or tying and had to fight him again. He said, yeah, that's enough for me to retire. Bud retired this man before he stepped in the ring. And especially after he stepped out the ring.
Sir,
man, get out of here.
Serto, you don't want to go through that again. Serto, you know, EJ, you know, shout out to Sean Porter being the great gladiator he have been over the career. And I never take nothing from a Sean Porter. But Kenny Porter, that motherfucker robbed me. I'm going to tell you that again, Serto. That motherfucker played them games. When Sean got up, and I told World Combat, one of the judges had Sean Porter after 2 knockdowns still tie fight. Sean Porter showed this. He done been there before. I think that was taken away from me as a boxing fan, Serto. So I give Terrence Crawford his kudos for stopping a Sean Porter.
Hey Ben, I got a question. I got a question for you, Ben.
A person who never been stopped, Serto. I give Terrence Crawford his credit for stopping a Sean Porter.
Ben, I got a question.
EJ is a different type of fighter now.
Let me ask you this question then.
Yeah, I know. EJ a different type of fighter.
Hey,
and he's different than the fighter he used to be. And also, EJ is one of my favorite fighters. The problem is, EJ's not my favorite because he's not the best. I rank stuff off the best. There's nothing that EJ do that Bud has not seen and can't do better. And very simply, EJ knows that. Why does EJ have to go train?
See the things you talking
about. You go
about.
train and fight all other types of people. Before, wait. We let you cook the whole time. My name is cooking. So let me cook a little bit. Let me season this up a little bit. So let me cook. Now, EJ said himself straight to Bud. He said, let me go over here and train a little bit because you the Kung Fu master. You the big boss at the end of the game, at the end of his game. Because he know that either I'll beat you and win and I get to retire, or you going to retire me. So let me beat these other opponents first. Let me beat Wario and let me beat, let me go over here and beat King Koopa and all of that. Because you the big Bowser. Because you the big monster. And I'm scared of that. So let me handle these little dudes first and get my money up before you retire me. He blatantly said it in his face. And Bud said, you're smart, but you're not that smart. And every time EJ said, well, that's a good fight and we'll negotiate it. And that's a good fight and we'll negotiate it. But he ain't sent no paperwork. But y'all always talking about paperwork. All these EJ fans, these EJ diehards, these EJ lovers, always talking about paperwork. EJ ain't sent no paperwork to Bud. He sent paperwork to everybody. But he ain't said none to Bud. Why? Because he don't want that smoke. Because Bud is the smoke, like he said. And nobody refuses. Nobody said Bud ain't the smoke. Well, he not that good, but he knocking out everybody. Oh, well, this gonna be his biggest test. His last 6 fights, everybody saying it will be his biggest test. And what he do? Knock them all out. He was handling Sean Porter in a way where he's like, wait, what? I'm down. In 30 seconds, Sean Porter was down for real. Not down on no cards. He was down on the canvas. Sit down. Then what happened? In less than 30 seconds, he set him down again. His ass said, that's enough. I don't even want to see no more. I don't even want to see no more. So let's be real about this thing. EJ the big fish, he the cash cow. He could demand, if he runs everything, he could demand any fight he wants. He don't want to fight Bud until he know he about to retire. Why? Because he don't want that smoke. He don't want it. Let's keep it real. He don't want it. Because if he did, then very simply, he wouldn't be running from. Bud ran this man off Twitter. His own sister, his mama, and his girlfriend couldn't run him off Twitter. Bud ran this man off Twitter. He ain't say a word until Bud calmed down and he secured that fight with And think about this. They negotiated to pay another man so he ain't gotta fight Boots or fight Bud. Bud standing there right there looking for him in the water. Oh, well, you can need to go in deeper water. Well, what does EJ need to do? Well, you ain't make the phone call. Y'all went crazy over the phone call, little lie.
I thought you said your name was Cooking because you ain't put no spice in your pot, bro. And I'm gonna let you.
Oh, you want to put some spice in there? Okay, well, here's the spice then. Very simply, if he chased fighting Bud the way he be chasing everything else, hugging up on dudes and kissy time on Facebook and Instagram, then he already done got knocked out. He already been put to sleep.
So
that's what I'm saying. The same way I said
that's your spice.
That's the same way. The same way I said, Sean, I'm the number one person, first person to say it on the internet. I looked and I searched it. The first person to say that Bud was gonna retire Sean Porter. Everybody told me I was crazy, a Bud Dick Rider, and all kinds of stuff. And what he do? Retire him. I said he was gonna take out Kell Brook in 3 or 4. What he do? He said, oh, well, let me shout out to my boy Sir Senior. I got to do what he said and go ahead and take him down. He said, I'm a Chris Brown, this dude. And that's what he did. He took him down. No homo. We leave that for the EJ fans. And I'll mute my mic and let you cook.
Anybody want to jump in and tag team before I, put some bacon on that little bullshit?
I got a question. I got a question for you, though.
And let Elder get his question.
I do got a question for you.
Do you think, Elder?
You said, yeah, I'm just messing with you though. But you said that you felt Kenny Porter robbed you of whatever, right? Did Barry Hunter rob you when he stopped the Pearson fight versus Spence?
When he did what? Spence fight said never.
Stopped that Pearson fight when Pearson getting his ass lit up.
Yeah, Barry Hunter stopped that fight in the corner. He was like, "Son, I can't let you go back out there, son." Did he rob you? Did Barry Hunter rob you of a devastating knockout?
See, let me address you with the
answer the question there.
Did I go on EJ professional record? Yes or no?
Yeah, just like Porter and Bud went on his.
What? So you said EJ got a loss on his record?
No. I'm saying when Barry Hunter stopped the fight in the corner, he robbed us, the fans, of a knockout, right? Like you said, Kenny Porter robbed you.
Sean Porter, you said Errol Spence was in that corner, right?
Bro, listen, Ben.
I'm listening.
He's doing an analogy. He's giving you an analogy from Kenny Porter robbing us. From Terrence Crawford knocking out Sean Porter, Vice Bennett, Hunter, Barry Hunter, freaking stopping down Lamont Peterson from getting his ass stomped into the canvas.
What's the difference?
See, one thing when you see a Lamont Peterson getting a something like that, that's not what Sean Porter was going through. Sean Porter was winning. I mean, if you want to be for the knockdown, he was. Look at the scorecard, World Combat Sport. You the first one to say you're gonna get receipts.
What was the score? What was the score at the time of the stoppage? I'm
not home right now, but
I have that file. I'll give
one thing, it wasn't no blow away with the. I give Terrence Crawford all his whatever, but the Serto, when you talk about the kissing on the dudes and
you want something else?
No, I want to address you. I just address you. I want to stay too long on your point.
Well, that's good.
Your point is good because you remember Serto was just throwing rocks a minute ago. Remember I told you I pick up boulders and sling them shits back.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, bro.
Because Serto is a real boyfriend of Bud Crawford. So I'm going to make it real clear when I clear my points. And I'm going to be very professional with mine. You feel what I'm saying? Because when I go on other platforms, my energy don't change. You feel what I'm saying? I talk about EJ accomplishment.
I feel you.
I know what Bud capable of doing to these lesser opponents. Serto, when you talk about he never faced it's the other way around. That shit he done did with those fighters, EJ will beat everybody on Bud Crawford resume, starting all the way down to that little bitty 135 shit. You can't find me one fighter that might trouble EJ. EJ, Mr. Cooker. I told you I'm gonna throw a little lamb chops in your pot. I thought I was gonna do
You mean the way that Porter was troubling EJ?
You can say Porter because Porter got his WBC belt lifted off him, bro, that night.
Yeah, and he got retired by Bud. Which one more embarrassing, losing the belt or getting retired?
Porter was never the same fighter after that fight, and he was still a great fighter to me, though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit here and bash him. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm not bashing him, Porter. He's a good fighter, but he ain't on Bud level.
So Bud was up on all 3 cards. Okay.
Let's see. That's
okay.
Just so you won't ever mention it again, Ben, because you don't mention like 17 times.
1, 2, 3,
this evening.
4.
You don't need to count, dog.
I'm counting. I can't count. So you don't want me to count. You tell me. Hold on. Look at this, ref. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nigga, he had Bud. Crawford was up on this dude. Hold up. Let me go over here. 1, 2. That's my point. Up until the point, we had one judge had him up still, bro. The fight still could have changed in the last 2 rounds. That's still my point right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You said earlier he was up when the fight was stopped.
I said you had a judge had it a draw at that time after 2 knockdowns, bro. You got to remember these knockdowns, the score different, and I don't even really see it because your boy Canfish was getting tapped on that chin, and I'm gonna give him that fight. He beat Sean Porter. But he got a task before him. He got a task greater, Serto. He got a task. That shit you were just talking about. Oh, Bud, you do this. He did that to them lesser opponent. Pull one of
he did the same thing to Porter. As soon as it showed you that he was playing.
Your best thing was Sean Porter. After I told you,
and his best name was Sean Porter. What other fighter on EJ's resume? Because EJ ain't did nothing except for his last 6 fights.
EJ lifted the WBC belt off Sean Porter.
Oh my God, that was amazing. He got his second belt in how many years? I understand.
I mean, and we're gonna sit here and talk about years. Only thing Bud Crawford been doing is holding on to that WBO belt that he's trying to sell, Serto. I keep telling you.
You mean in the last 2 years?
Same thing he trying to
with
do.
His 5 defenses.
With that 50%.
You talking about his 5 defenses of a belt?
Refuse to accept that this man trying to sell a belt. His accomplishments is one thing. That's one thing. You can't sit up here and go to a negotiating table and talk about just based on your accomplishment when you don't went to the Mikasuki and bitch, you can't sell that shit out. Get the fuck out of here with that. That's business, bro.
Let's talk about the fact that your boy EJ ain't fought. EJ ain't fought since when?
Bud Crawford say
when Thurman won't fighting
40%.
When Thurman won't fighting, y'all was saying take the belts off of him. EJ ain't fought since when?
Thurman, you gonna go back to your other favorite fighter?
Thurman ain't my other favorite fighter because Thurman ain't been fighting. But I like Thurman.
I know
and
you
I still
do, man. You don't
Thurman
think about
give
Thurman.
EJ a tough fight.
Other favorite fighter, Mr. Can't take it to the body, Mr. Your boy Jesse. What his name? Jose. That dude that almost took the title off his ass, man.
You just told me almost don't count. And now you saying almost do count. Which one is it?
Man, he was beating the shit out of your boy, man. I don't know how he left the way with that WBA belt, man. Man, the Southside Rocky had him run around the ring, knocked the mouthpiece out of him, went to his body several times, had him folding over. Then he went right into the next fight with Manny Pacquiao, and guess what happened? Manny showed you what to do in the first round. Pop. Pop.
Yeah. Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman, and that's
you
what's
ain't
up.
talk about your boy Keith Thurman since. And now you want to talk. You want to talk about him with Jose Pedraza now? I mean Marios Barrios.
You brought up Thurman.
I brought up Thurman. Soft body Thurman.
Yeah, you brought up Thurman. I'm talking about Bud because you deflecting. My favorite fighter, Bud Crawford. Don't you see the thumbnail?
Another one of your
Don't you see the thumbnail?
Another one of your favorite fighters that been ducking EJ, and you gonna come out here and promote that.
So Bud ducking EJ.
You can't promote.
Bud ducking EJ, or he just don't want to take chump change for knocking him out. He don't want to give him the biggest payday of his life for knocking him out.
Chump change. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to.
I thought when you a babysitter and you put the kids to sleep, you supposed to get paid. Ain't that what you supposed to do? When you a babysitter and you put the kids to sleep, you supposed to get paid.
Chump change. EJ and motherfucker Terrence Crawford fight. I ain't never heard nobody but you, Serto, just say that fight was chump change. Shit. I want to get somebody else to say that shit chump change. Do the math. You went to school. I hope you went to school, Serto.
Of course I did. But it's obviously you're not even paying attention to the parts of speech that you saying.
I'm paying attention to everything I'm saying. I'm saying EJ the bigger draw. I'm saying add up all the fights that you.
Yeah, he is the bigger draw. Yeah, he's famous for out there partying and kissing on dudes and turning up and twerking in the club. He doing big. He doing big. He's famous for that. Maybe Bud got to go up on some dudes. I'm sorry, he don't go that way.
You deviate everywhere but the fight, though, Serto. It's time to make the fight, man. Fuck all that club, this, that. If you think you can whoop him coming out the club, go beat his ass. You think you can whoop him with the one eye, go do that shit. I still say EJ will beat his ass.
He got to get in the ring. Don't the man got to get in the ring?
Won't you make him get in the ring? Won't you go on these platforms? All the next
There's nothing we can do, man. He's about to step in there for the WBA title. That's been his plan all along, to collect all the belts before he step in there with Crawford. He don't want to risk Crawford having the finale. You know what I'm saying? He
ready for the finale.
He want to get all three belts so he can have leverage.
Before
and he can go in there and negotiate what he feel that he rates as a 3-belt champion at welterweight.
Before Ugas and all that other stuff, when the WBA was ready to send Ugas in the tournament, he was ready to see what your boy was working with then. And your boy was over there capping.
How can you make that assumption?
He went to Disney World.
And he had a fight,
Disney World, talk about
he had a fight.
He just had a fight.
Did he not pay Stantione and step aside? What do you acting like it's just all okay? What did your Bud just stepped out the ring in November?
Right now, prior to that, before they had to do all this step aside, he wanted Bud Crawford then. Right after the Sean Porter. Let's go into.
So you saying he could have made the Bud Crawford fight, but somehow, some way, Bud didn't want that fight. There's no way that he would budge on anything. Like, how was that in the media? Tell me where you found that in the media that he wanted Bud Crawford before this. Before this.
This is what I'm gonna tell you, World Combat Sport.
No, check this out. Who was Errol Spence about the fight before he got an eye injury?
Manny Pacquiao. What you mean? You finna fight the biggest fight of his career?
Okay.
He was
so he wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao, but all of a sudden Bud don't want the smoke.
Bud would just
Bud don't want the smoke. He's about to face Manny Pacquiao.
Keep the same energy you insert.
So he's about to fight Manny Pacquiao, but Bud don't want the smoke.
He was finna fight. Who Bud just was saying he was finna fight? He wasn't talking EJ. He said Bob Arum got to fight in Old
You have to stay on topic, Ben. You have to stay focused, man. You have to stay zoned in. You know what I'm saying?
That is on topic. Y'all gonna talk about.
You said that Terrence Crawford did not want the fight, as if Errol Spence was offering him a fight prior to his fight with Ugas. His fight prior to Ugas was who? That was canceled. Manny Pacquiao.
That was canceled. But after that fight, when he was cleared, he said he ready to.
And let's keep it real. It was canceled because he getting beat up in sparring.
After that,
he got his eye toe up in sparring.
Okay. regardless of when, what, where. He ready
What
to
you
fight your
regard to
boy.
win? That's the truth.
So,
When, what, where, and why is the truth.
okay,
You want to say forget the truth? Okay, well we're gonna forget the
He
truth.
got an accident in sparring.
Appreciate you,
What does that hold up?
I never heard somebody say me getting beat up was an accident. How did you get beat
That's
up?
what you
Was
said.
an accident. He accidentally beat him up. No, he got beat up. His defense wasn't good enough. He didn't train good enough for the people he was sparring with, and he got beat up.
Okay, Terrence Crawford is that person, right? And EJ, you just reported that he just did all that. Why you don't sig him in there right now? Why you don't tell your favorite fighter, go get him right now? He vulnerable. Scared it in the motherfucker.
I've been telling him. And what he said, guess what he did?
Lipstick on,
guess what he did?
Tap dancing at Disney World.
Guess what he did? Guess what he did? When I messaged, when I went to the IG and said, "Hey bud, go get the big fish." Guess what he did? And I got the shirt to prove it. He went on his website and made some shirts that I be fishing. Because he coming after the big fish. And I got the sweatshirt. You'll see it on my next live.
He tucked his tail, man. He didn't want no smoke. Tell him that's what it was.
Because I'm pretty sure that he made IB fishing shirts just for the big fish. He went and made an IG live just for the big fish. And what he say? He said my slogan. Then you notice he said my slogan? It's food for thought. Man, if you ever see my show, I tell you that I'm always cooking. If it's home cooking or food for thought. And Bud in his live talking about that's some food for thought. That was a shout out to Sir Sin. Shout out to Bud. He loved his kid.
So you got to keep your boy out and protect the custody, man. It's time to fight, bro. Make the fight. Ain't no more capping. No more capping, bro. No more. I don't know where he at. MT Gate, whatever. All them names you just.
Only capping I've seen is the EJ fans sitting here capping, acting like Bud don't want the smoke. Oh well, EJ got big things to do. He got bigger things to do. When AJ said that, everybody roasted him, AJ, for saying he had bigger things to do and fight Deontay Wilder. They was like, no, that's cap. It's blatantly cap. We know cap when we hear it. But EJ said the same as that thing. He said, "Oh, well, I only want to do in-house fights."
That was cap. Anthony, you can't bring Anthony Joshua in this because that was cap.
All right, so it's same cap when EJ said it. It's the same cap when EJ said it. He only want to do in-house fights.
Listen, let me show you how it's cap. Anthony Joshua said that shit and went over there in Madison Square Garden and lost my money. Got his ass kicked. That's cap, bro.
Man, I'm about to
you giving away money?
EJ still reigning and defending.
I'm about to eat this. I'm about to go eat some Mexican, bro. I'm tired of cooking, y'all, so I'm about to go eat some Mexican. I'm gonna be in the chat.
Don't run now. Don't run now. What you running for?
Oh, I ain't running. What you got to say? I got a couple minutes. I'll stand outside. What you got to say?
Man,
tell me something other than EJ got more money.
We ain't talk about that, man. We ain't gonna even discuss that.
I'm listening. Tell me other than EJ got make money. What anything you could say puts EJ anywhere close to Bud?
Only thing I want you to do, sir, though, is after this Uga fight, tell Bud you don't want nobody but EJ. I want you to go on all platforms and preach that. That EJ fight. Because I know EJ wants your boy. It's time.
You know the caveat of what Andrew said, right, about extremists is pretty much the same behavior in what he's saying, because you all go around him placing demands on Bud Crawford, as if you have to continue to enforce and speak for Errol Spence. Why are you thinking you have to go around and talk for Errol Spence? Y'all acting like y'all, just like we was going through the George Floyd freaking protests. Y'all out here inciting riots and shit. This what he needs to do. This what needs to happen. This what needs to happen. Make it happen. Why do you feel that people should listen to y'all trying to enforce what Crawford should do next? The man just stepped out of the ring. There's no way a fight could have been made with Errol Spence injured, and he was scheduled to fight Pacquiao before this Ugas fight. So that's pointless in what you're saying, bro. It's just pointless, man.
You got people coming out saying EJ is vulnerable. He coming out with this injury.
He is vulnerable.
Okay. And
That
if he
goes
don't,
without saying. Just like Terrence Crawford didn't want to beat
okay,
his ass
let
after the
me.
car accident, so
Okay,
he
just
allowed
check
him
it
to
out
pick up
though.
Danny Garcia as a tune-up.
Check it out though. World Combat. Boxing is a game. It's not based on sympathy. Like I told you, if we in the motherfucking tank and you motherfuckers start bleeding around me, I'm going in for the kill. Cause instinct gonna tell me y'all prey now. Y'all ain't no predator. Y'all vulnerable. It's time for me to eat. I'm gonna get bigger. I'm gonna be the biggest fish.
So,
Blood is bleeding.
so you
Blood
trying
is
to say when you see blood, you going in there to eat?
going in for the kill.
So, pretty much, that's something I
EJ
didn't
is
know
going
about you.
in
I
for
didn't know you was half cannibalistic.
EJ going in for the kill, bro. I'm telling
And
you.
please,
I'm telling you. Y'all gotta keep Bud out of protected custody, man. Tell him to fight that dude. He vulnerable. And that's what y'all saying. Y'all keep saying he vulnerable, but y'all ain't telling Bud to go beat his ass while he vulnerable. What the hell y'all
Errol
want?
Spence extremist.
Ain't no screaming. It's facts.
Errol Spence extremist.
Y'all make that make
Firsthand.
sense. Y'all 1 minute y'all saying he vulnerable, but y'all scared to go in for the kill. Cause you know what gonna happen to a World Combat Sport? Their ass gonna become prey. Especially your boy Terrence Crawford.
So is Yellow Beezy prey?
So we gonna get back on that.
I'm just saying, is he prey?
Hey, you know what I told one of your homeboy who used to be a man back in the military? How many times he put mouth to mouth on a dude trying to save his life? And one thing EJ wasn't trying to do is kiss Yellow Beezy. They were just fucking around. And I know
I
some
didn't say
dudes
that.
in Memphis. I know some dudes in East Point, Atlanta, play like that. I know dudes in the Bluff play
Now,
like that.
you're talking about East Point, Atlanta that play like that, and you're
I know
talking
dudes
about
in Miami. I'm from Boston.
look.
Listen. Let me start from my birthplace.
So you're making
No.
excuses.
Let me start from my
We're
birthplace.
making excuses
I'll make
for
no. I ain't making no excuses. I'm telling
the
you, I
big
got a dude
fish
ready to get in the ring and
potentially
whoop
being
ass.
a blowfish. So Errol Spence might be a blowfish, huh?
So you seen him kissing him? And I know
I
y'all
never
put,
mentioned the word.
and I know
You
Medfat
did.
put their mouth on people.
Okay.
Okay, make that
I've
point.
been down here since I was born and raised down this camp. I never seen that shit until this new era. This new era. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? I was
but you
born and
see it
raised
now.
down here. I
But you
never
see
saw that
it.
shit growing up.
But you see it. But you see it now.
Today,
Okay.
today,
Okay. And in Atlanta, and I got a lot of friends. Like I told you, my mama, we did
man,
time
don't
down there.
nobody know you down here, Ben. I asked him. I was in the street. I said, "Who know
Man,
Ben?"
man,
No,
you gotta go to
I
East Point
don't.
Park. You gotta go to the Bluff, bro. I'll tell you where it's
Man,
at.
please
I'll
don't
tell
you.
you, I'm in the
Okay,
bro.
okay, okay.
I
Next
changed my
time you
life,
down here,
bro.
let's go to the Bluff, then.
I'll go there with you, bro. I got an
And don't
auntie
be up
stay down
there
there, right?
talking about, "Hey, dude, keep the
Bro, I
windows
got an
rolled."
auntie. Man, look, I got an auntie stay down there, bro. I got people in DC and in Baltimore, bro. I love this. I'm in
Now I
Miami right
respect
now.
Baltimore.
I'm,
I had my that's my old stumping grounds too. Be more.
I'm in Miami right now, but the reason why, like I told you when I first started talking to you, I had end up in the feds, fucking around with DC for my home crib. I had to leave the crib because if I said I'm gonna change my life, World Combat Sport, like I promised my old girl I'm gonna do, I can't still do the same shit. Talk about I'm gonna change. That shit you ain't gonna change. You feel what I'm saying? That's just my little thing. We back to this boxing. And that's why I be home. I go to Baltimore. That's the crib, though, bro. But I know I can't be there too long because I got homie fucked up, and they be talking about this motherfucker ready. Done tried him, and next thing you know, motherfucker be caught up in some shit. You feel what I'm saying? So if you gonna change your life to the 100.
That's what you should be advocating for Errol Spence, though.
He is. He changing his life, my G. I'm telling you. This is why I tell you he want your boy Terrence Crawford in the ring. He ain't capping. He ain't running.
No, I'm
And
talking
people,
about so we can make the fight happen because it just seems like we up here having debates and dialogues about this big fight that's been floating in the air for quite some time, but yet if Errol Spence continue to have videos out here where allegedly he seemed to be intoxicated and it seems to be breaking outside of the healthy lifestyle of a fighter that's on his level, you know, he may continue to get injured in sparring or whatever the case may be.
Okay, if this the case, and Terrence Crawford, the whole Justice League, they supposed to be advocating the board. I'm gonna say it again, to go in for the kill. He injured. Try it and watch what happens. I'm telling you, World Combat, when them two fighters get in the ring, you're gonna see a different type of Aerosmith, man. I promise you. And this is what I want. I want Bud to sit on the sideline, go in the gym, train, and be ready, be in the best shape of your life. Because when that World Destroyer come in there for his ass, he better have some serious answers.
Okay. I get you, bro. I get you. World Destroyer, you know. Sound like a canoe that I used to, you know, paddle back and forth in summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bitty ass canoe, World Destroyer. But I
Yeah.
hear what you're saying.
More like it's more like that shit. Terrence Crawford went to Disney World, the same app he on, that's Disney shit, that he telling people that motherfuckers couldn't pay, but being Israel was able to pay. I was able to get your motherfucking fight, but you gonna come out here and talk about that shit hard to do. It ain't hard to do. Disney World, the Disney channels and Disney movies ain't hard to get. Ask your daughter or your son. Them little motherfuckers know how to get that shit off. You look at your bill end of the month, shit, $600-$700. What the fuck y'all been ordering in here?
Man, why man can't go to Disney World no more without another man feeling some type of way about it? Shawty, for what?
But Shorty, don't pull up at the
God damn, why are you feeling some
don't
type of
pull
way
up at no
about
lagoon though, my G.
DW, dog? Let that
Don't-
man go to DW and
Don't
relax.
go to Disney World and talk about you looking for the big fish, bro.
At least he was showing concern, Ben, that he was willing to go out and search for this so-called big fish, this mythological creature. You know what I'm saying? He was willing to take his own time out to try to go search for the shit.
What you call him, a mythological creature that Terrence Crawford met in person?
No, the big fish. That mythological creature, the big fish.
Oh, he
Just
done
like the boogeyman was phased out. We found out that was a myth.
never been a myth. Terrence Crawford, since he got the welterweight, still holding on to that WBO belt. He ain't trying to outdo himself. Every now and then, he tell y'all he ain't gonna fight EJ. The fight is behind him. He don't want the fight. He going up to 154. He gonna be, you know what this shit, man. Stop playing with the people, the boxing people minds, bro.
As I sit here and think about it, right, even though it's a holiday spirit, I'm happy I'm able to spend this time with you, because when Terrence Crawford finally beat Errol Spence' ass, I think you're gonna be UA somewhere. I think you're gonna disappear and shit. You're gonna banish yourself from damn social media for a while, and then you're gonna come back with a different name. You're gonna try to disguise your voice and all that shit.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say,
No.
Ben, is that you, Ben?
No. One
No,
day
this ain't me.
I got one agenda.
This ain't me.
I got one agenda.
I know I'm saying some things that sound like the old Ben. I don't even know who that guy is.
I got homeboys.
But he's the world destroyer.
I got homeboys right now, real combat, mad as fuck, because I fuck with EJ the way I fuck with, bro. Straight there in DC, Baltimore, my homeboys is back. Southside, all that shit. Mad as fuck. Man, Tank is that nigga. But I fuck with EJ. You feel what I'm saying? That's my favorite fighter. You know?
Man, that ain't your favorite fighter. That's just some. You probably lost a bet in the hood playing hopscotch or something. That ain't your favorite fighter, dog. Because when I initially met you, you said, you know, you fuck with Bud heavy.
No, I ain't
How
never.
can
You
fuck with him heavy?
would never get on no platform. I put
How can you fuck with him heavy and all you do is criticize him?
I support him more than the average boy fan do. I mean, buying his fights. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never went to that shit, but I don't bought all these little 3 fights that I mentioned. I paid for the poster because I wanted to see that fight extreme.
I'm gonna tell you, you get back on here after the fight, man, and your boy lose talking some
Ain't even
bullshit. I'm gonna time
losing,
you
man.
out, dog. I'm gonna time you out
EJ,
on purpose.
hey, you can
I'm gonna
do
time
that.
your
I'll
ass
take
out,
that. I'll
goddamn it.
take that. I'll take
I'm gonna
that.
time your
But,
ass out
but now,
immediately.
whatever the shooter go the other way around, man. What you
There's
gonna
no
do?
other way around,
What
man.
you gonna do?
When
You
you
gonna
hop
come
on the
over here,
carousel, does it
bend
go
Israel?
backwards?
Nah, you
When
gonna
you went
bend
to Disney
Israel?
World, if you hop on the carousel, does it go backwards? No, it goes forward, right?
No, you gonna say bend Israel? You know what you was talking about, my G.
I'm just saying, man. I want you to be in good spirit like you are now, but I don't want you going around here, trying to think you can jump on Terrence Crawford because Errol Spence finally got, the fight that he was dreading, and
No,
it didn't work out his way.
no.
So the hype is over with. He get to go to 154. I hope there's no rematch clause in that shit. I just hope they fight one time so he can go on 154 and fight his stablemate. He need to go there and fight Jamel Charlo.
Well, he gonna fight that, and that's when I would tell you, EJ landscape is way bigger than Earl, man. Because EJ can fight. I mean, it's just wide open for him, and people got to understand that though.
If his
You know,
landscape was, if he had the real estate you're talking about, when is he planning on making a move? Like only person I see that's making moves is Canelo, to be honest. Like why has he been right here in welterweight division this long? 54 is open door for you.
at the Terrence Crawford,
The
it's gonna be
brothers,
wild.
look, the black fighters got to get out this mindset. Oh, my stablemate over there, I can't fight nobody. I
I
don't want
ain't
to fight
never
my
said
friend
that.
and all this
He
other
said he'll
bullshit.
do. They said they will do that for day one.
No, hold
Then
up. He said he would fight Canelo. He wanted to fight with Canelo. So the
Canelo,
highest I see him going up is 60, to be honest, 60, right? So he'd rather jump up 60 to fight Canelo, but he don't want to go up there and fight to get a title.
he'll
You
fight.
don't have confidence in fighting a Yoda Marauder. You're just sitting up there doing nothing. Um, I mean, challenge yourself. You don't think you can beat Demetrius Andrade?
He'll be.
Why hasn't the man took a risk to go up there and pick up a second division?
Man, look, he'll be Mel, and man, dude is talented, man. I'm gonna just say that, man. I ain't gonna even expose some of the people
Nobody
I
said Errol Spence wasn't talented, man. Nobody said that shit. It's just when it comes to Crawford, his
Crawford
talent
up next.
lies
Crawford got a target on his back,
below
man.
that of Terrence Crawford.
Crawford has a target on his back, bro. I'm telling you some real shit, man. That man is
He
a
what?
wanted man.
He what?
He a wanted man. He got a target on his back, bro. Real talk.
I mean, it's been that way for a while.
No, it's real now. After this Ugas, I want all you Terrence Crawford fans to drag this man in the ring. Gonna corner y'all. Ain't gonna corner Terrence. All you but the whole Justice League catch him anywhere trolling their ass on their neck. Make them drag Bud in the ring. Stop all the capping. It's time. It's time to stop all the capping. It's time to fight.
Hearing you say that all the time, it back, to this short clip I made.
I never meaning no, never lie. Never meaning no, never meaning no, never meaning tonight.
That's what I hear when you keep on saying the same thing
Turn
about what we
around,
should
huh?
do.
She trying to do her best singing, huh? But that's what EJ gonna do to Bud. He gonna turn his ass all the way around when they fight. He gonna turn him around so good, you ain't gonna see it coming. I'm telling you, that's gonna be the biggest fight in boxing, though. I think that fight will do better than Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, the last one, the trilogy. I think that thing got. I believe it can go 8 to a mil. What you say, World Combat? You don't think it'll do that
I don't
much?
really get into numbers like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because everybody look what everybody talking about, my G. This the most talked about fight, and he got Ugas in front of him. EJ got real Ugas problems in front of him, and the world is still talking about motherfucking Terrence Crawford and EJ.
Okay, I hear you.
Besides me advocating the fact that Cambosa came out there Teofimo Lopez fight, and now all of a sudden he ain't talking that Devin Haney smoke is another thing I got issues with though.
I mean, is there any other issues that I haven't mentioned?
I mean, you don't cover a lot of little things though, man. But
I
you
mean,
know,
because if he's capping, he's full of shit. I mean, we have to just wait to what, probably like 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks from now, and see what he's talking about when they finally announce who he's fighting.
so they said we're gonna need by at least 2 weeks.
I mean, if they're gonna fight, they're gonna need to get in camp. Of course, Lomachenko just finished the fight. They go through the holidays, and Kambosos be good. They got to get back in fight camp, and they plan on having it. Probably in May or June, something like that.
I just hope Cambosa keep his word, man. Because he came out the Teofimo Lopez fight. He said if Devin Haney did with JoJo Diaz, he going to entertain it. Then he said with the tank, I think the tank would be more lucrative. Bob Arum ain't paying no much money. He trying to push Lomachenko back to the forefront. And then we got the lingerie committee. What lingerie committee? We got the De La Hoya campaign over there with the Ryan Garcia bullshit, trying to push this motherfucker to the forefront. And this motherfucker is a capping artist. He's saying he want to fight motherfucking Pitbull Cruz, but all of a sudden he don't want no smoke from even Pit. Man, Ryan, come on, man, bro. That's man, and you made a good statement earlier about Ryan. He need to fight with that lady, with the female boxer there. You said though, man.
Katie Taylor,
man. I'm telling you, that's for real, man. Katie Taylor and Ryan Garcia need to fight because this motherfucker been bucking every other fighter, man. I mean, the man had us fooled. Oh, I got Manny Pacquiao. I got Devin Haney. Oh, I got Javante, JoJo D. Cap went out, but all them fights, bro. Man came up with COVID, head injury, post-traumatic stress disorder. He ain't seen nobody get killed in front of him. You probably done had 3-4 turns over there in Iraq and whatever Saudi. You probably done seen 100 motherfuckers get killed. You got the same claim he around here saying World Combat Sport he playing with, bro. Come on, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that dude. He's scared. He's a cap artist. That's what Ryan Garcia is. For real. And he need to be dropped from every boxing sanctioning rank. He need to start all the way back over from the tomato cans, bro.
yeah, I agree, man. He's not one of my favorite fighters, nor do I. I don't know. I want to put too much emphasis in because I actually want to see him get in there with Isak Cruz. I want to see that fight. Isak didn't have no injuries coming off the Tank Davis fight, so if he's able to get back in there with Ryan Garcia, I just think from the way he looked in against Tank, I'm just curious to know what we gonna get from Ryan. I want to see Isak go in there and beat the cap out of his ass for real. I want to see him go in there, goddamn, have the best performance of his life.
I believe Luke did something to Ryan though, man. I believe that knockdown fucked Ryan up mentally though, bro. Even though he got up off it and hit Luke with that body punch I heard you talk about a week ago and you think I was tripping out when you said that shit. And stop Luke with that old Fugazi ass body punch. You feel what I'm saying? Stop the man. But the shit was like after that, what Ryan named Houdini now, man. Where has Ryan been? Who has Ryan fight? Gave all type of people call outs, talk about he ready to fight. This person ready to kick this ass, and ain't nothing came to fruition, bro. You had the JoJo Diaz fight, had everybody lined up. Then you had motherfucking your boy had to give your boy 500 more thousand just to make that fight happen. And you still talk about you want Eastside Cruz. And then from what I'm hearing though, they're saying that fight, he want out of that fight though, World Combat Sport.
One out of what fight?
Isaac Cruz, man. Say he don't want to fight Isaac Cruz.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that yet.
Say he don't want no smoke with Isaac Cruz.
Shoot, man. I gotta bounce, man. You got any final words for your people out there?
Everything all hood, man. Shout out to World Combat Sport. Y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Keep it safe with you, man. Thanks again for having your boy Ben Israel on. I'm out.
Shout out to Ben, L Dub, Sir Senior who dropped in. Appreciate everyone else who stopped through, man. My last point, I'm just gonna make brief mention. Jake Paul potentially fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. In my opinion, that's the right opponent for him to fight for the right paycheck. He'll give you what you want. The reason why I'm saying that is, he did it already with Canelo. He was in there and he's quit. He's the right opponent. He may be a boxer that they have a surplus of professional fights, and also he has the pedigree from his pops. But we all know that shit didn't bleed over and transfer the way it's supposed to. It kind of lost some of its sting. You know what I'm saying? The shit didn't materialize the way it should have when it comes to DNA strands and the chromosomes and shit like that. But if indeed Jake Paul steps in there with Chavez Jr., that's the right person. He'll move around with you. He'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? He'll give you what you want. If you want a dance partner, he'll do that for you. So I don't see any difficulty in that. It's just I'm really hoping. I'm just curious to see how far this is gonna go. To be honest, I'm just curious to see how far it's gonna go. And also, if you haven't heard Triad Combat from Triller, they have Vitor Belfort stepping in there with Chad Dawson. And I'm getting mixed reviews on this fight. Chad Dawson haven't stepped in the ring since 2019, so I'm pretty curious to know how his conditioning is. And one thing I always ask about Triller, are they drug testing over there? So, the way Vitor Belfort looked, it looked like he's the old Vitor Belfort that used to be on TRT. I'm not for sure, though. But I'm just saying he looked impressive in there against Evander Holyfield. And I'm curious to see how Chad Dawson looks. You know what I'm saying? I'm really curious to see how Chad Dawson look after being out the ring as long as he has. But he's a legitimate fighter. And they keeping Vitor Belfort around. You know what I'm saying? I'm curious to know when they're going to bring back Anderson Silva. But from my understanding, let me take that back. That won't be Triad Combat, will it? I think they say it was going to be Triad Combat. I'm not sure Vitor Belfort and Chad Dawson is going to be on the Triad rules, because Triad rules, the ring size is different, and also it allows you to clinch behind the head and punch with your free hand, somewhat like bare knuckle fighting. So that would be a whole different outlook right there, man. I could have sworn they said Triad rules. I'm not sure, but that'll be tough for Chad to come back in here and fight a former world champion and a legend in Vitor Belfort, and their implemented clinch game in boxing. Yeah, it'll be tough, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it'll be tough, because sooner or later you're gonna have to clinch, and that's when Vitor, who's been known to have very fast hands since his MMA days, I'm curious to know how long damn Chad Dawson can stay in the fight, man. Age won't be a situation. It's not like they separated that far in age to the point where it's an advantage, disadvantage. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Cooking Sir Senior on deck, man. Appreciate you for pulling up, my brother. L Dub, y'all be sure to check out L Dub and Cooking with Sir Senior. Check them cats out. Check their channel out, their content. Doing real quality work out here in these YouTube community. You know what I'm saying? J Ocho, Oakland LD, everybody else that dropped through, man. D-Ray, appreciate you pulling up. Ben, until next time, man, y'all know what it is, man. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.